chat room today over at Vaughn. It should be available. Let me just click this right here.
So vaughnlive.tv/third party for anyone that is watching this on another network.
VaughnLive.tv/third party. Hi there, Heavy.
Hi Maserati. Hi everybody.
Thanks,
Sarah,
Phil
extreme
Norris.
close up. I know. I'm sitting higher than David right now, but that's okay.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing major high winds in our area, so our broadcast may drop off for whatever reason. If you're watching this in archive, it'll be, cut off during the night. Hopefully, the heavy winds. We're getting 70-mile-an-hour winds tonight. We live on an island off the coast of Washington, and it is a beautiful place to live. It really is, unless you sometimes get high wind areas, and occasionally. 8 times a day we have F-18s flying over our house. Not because they really need to, it's because they like living here too, and they want to use an area of 50,000 people as a training ground for F-18s that have already crashed recently, 2 of them over the Carl Vinson just about a month ago. So we're always wondering if we'll be taken out in the middle of our show by an F-18. You never know. The kind of behavior that they're engaging in above our house, in my opinion, is not even sensible training. They're flying these vehicles too close. Just last week, I saw 2 F-18s nearly collide above my house. They were crisscrossing in the air, and I can't, for the life of me, wonder what would provoke them to fly so close to each other. I mean, even in a wartime situation, why would you fly in that tight of a formation? It seems irrelevant. If you're going to fly in a tight formation, you're going to be a target for heat-seeking missiles in combat. Gas is cheap, and they are having fun at my expense. Exactly, Robert. There's an unincorporated area around here that has regular military chopper training. They hover like 50 feet over the ground. Wow, that can't be good on your ears. We found out that the truth is these F-18s are producing 120 decibels in noise, flying 300, 400 feet above the ground, which is double what the government allows, yet the government won't do anything to stop it. A person I know actually went out to the Pentagon and tried to get generals to wake up to the reality you can't treat people like this. He contacted an epidemiologist who was shocked to hear that the noise levels were that high, 120 decibels. He said that kind of a noise pollution can cause fracturing of the liver.
Wow. And
precipitate strokes and heart disease. Now, I didn't buy into that when I moved to a naval air station area. It didn't say naval air station / training ground and, flyover forever and ever. Yeah. Well, they're not sending a message to me. I'm sending a message to them.
I think you're right, Golden Orbs. Golden Orbs says what you say seems reasonable, and they have reason to believe your common sense approach to real problems is lost on those who need correction most.
Right.
You just don't get it.
Now, in the beginning of our show, we were playing a video of mass graves in Houston, Texas. Now, I cannot possibly explain what this stuff is, but these guys went out there and they photographed it. It's behind us right now. There are large mass graves that have been dug near a place around Houston, Texas.
So it's like it's all desert, and then there's soft sand or green?
Well, apparently it's easy to dig in this ground, but they've created an area which looks like a massive graveyard, and no one can really explain why. Here's their audio feed. They're walking around it. See this? This is just the beginning of a massive facility. It seems to be harboring all kinds of large concrete containers, rectangular containers, all with lids. I talked to a guy who said he has a really good friend in the military.
It's a cemetery relocation.
No, they're not FEMA trailers. This is let me get a good picture
that's
of
probably
it.
what it was. They've been on the ground and already.
Yeah. They're pretty big containers. So you got to wonder, what the heck is this, and why are they doing it?
They got more over here.
More over there. It's a big operation, and these are all preformed cement containers with large cement lids. Anyway, we'll make that our backdrop for now. No, it's actually designed for, you could store probably 30 bodies in each one.
Where at in Texas is it?
It's Houston, Texas. I don't know. I don't have the specifics, but it's there right before your eyes. And anyway, this guy I was talking to has a really good friend who works in the military, and he said, hey, are there any FEMA camps down in Texas and Nevada and Arizona? And the guy said, no, nothing. He said, seriously, no. And he kept saying, I've heard about these FEMA camps. And the guy said, no, it's nothing to worry about, man. No, come on. I mean, you must know something. And finally, the guy, who was a really good friend of this other person, finally confessed that he can't tell him any information because it will cost him his life. He's under strict orders that if he were to reveal any information about these encampments down in Nevada, Texas area, that he would die, or sent to Leavenworth, or any number of threats that are made against military operatives. And they're sworn to the government to remain secret. So the EPA buys lands. There's an Indian burial in Grosstown Cemetery. They move the corpse there, 4 bodies per coffin. You know, it's a very interesting Meow TV, because I ran into a land grant issue when I was scrutinizing the monthly Treasury report. And the EPA has on average about $1 billion in land grant money coming to it for the Indian tribal lands. And I'm beginning to wonder, is there a connection between what you're saying and the land grant acquisition that the government seems to be getting in Indian grounds? Now, Indians aren't receiving much land. They must be using it for some other purpose, but there's a tremendous amount of money in the budget, $1 billion a year, near to $1 billion. It was like 780 million per year. Right. You have a friend who went to Iraq, and you warned him not to enlist, explained how we were training rebel forces there, and he went anyway. And recently he came back and said to me, you were right. And guess what his job was? Training rebel forces. Henry, thank you for respecting our First Amendment. Are you a U.S. citizen or someone from outside of our country? I know I would love to be able to give you guys the First Amendment that we as a nation have fought for. As you can see, I'm having to utilize that First Amendment every day in order to defend whatever freedom is left in America against these mind-draining liberals who think that you can just shun anybody who questions them and call them names. They basically call people names whenever they disagree with people. And then they say that you're not allowed to do this, that, or the other thing because it's politically incorrect. There's no law in our Constitution that says political incorrection is a bad thing. Here we go. There's the story right from Sarkweather. Thank you, Sarkweather. So the truth behind these FEMA camps, that's what I was trying to get to tonight, and figure out what's going on. This is a video commentary featuring Gabby Zolna, the Minority Report blog. Houston, Texas is not the only state that FEMA gas graves have been found. One has to wonder if the administration knows something that they want to eventually surprise us with. According to the reports, these concrete coffins are designed to hold 30 plus bodies. Let's listen to this guy just for a second.
Well, again, you might want to go to YouTube and Google FEMA mass graves sites in Houston. This is an interesting little video clip. And what you see is massive concrete vaults set in the ground.
Yeah.
These vaults supposedly can hold up to 30 bodies each.
Okay. Well, apparently he's talking about the same thing we are, so I'd rather look at Sarah's beautiful face and listen to him talk about it. All right, great. Why wouldn't they just burn the bodies?
Because burning can spread disease in some cases.
And you'd know that they were burning the bodies. You'd see the smoke. Like you did see the smoke from the smokestacks outside of Treblinka and Dachau and Auschwitz. During Germans' occupation of the hinterlands.
They think there's some kind of connection, but there probably isn't. Yeah.
Show me a damn camp. Well, I have yet. You think if there was a camp, I'd be able to show it to you? I mean, it's kind of a self-sealing premise, isn't it? If there was a camp, no one would get a camera into it, would they? All
Well,
right.
they would get in, they just wouldn't get out.
Yeah, they'd get in, but they wouldn't get out. For Dianne Feinstein, torture reports release is a signal moment. And she's using this as a grandstanding moment for her rally to the Democrats against all the mindless torture that's going on. But it's very interesting to see that Dianne Feinstein doesn't mention Obama once in the report. And the CIA reports are a tale of competing truths. That's the story here. Dianne Feinstein doesn't want to admit that there was a study that showed that
Showing you some kind of camp.
these are these are the concrete containers I'm talking about. We'll play more of it if you want. You want to look at more live video of the concrete containers, I'll be glad to show them to you. There you go. But the CIA report is a tale of competing truths. Yeah, no kidding. Right. So if indeed there are plans to somehow intern people or put them in mass graves, and these camps are being set up under secrecy, we'll never ever know. The veil of secrecy that's secured in the military is pretty strong. Yeah, they're mass coffins, right. Well, Henry, I haven't seen the camps myself. I can tell you there is a FEMA camp at Beech Grove, Indiana, that has all the earmarks of human turnstiles and the whole thing, but I've only got an older video of that. I'd gladly show it to you if you really want to look at it. But this type of mass grave scenario is even more
The
compelling.
FEMA plans to imprison American citizens have generated a lot of interest around the country.
And this was done over 10 years ago, even though it says January 23rd, 2013. This is a facility in Beech Grove, Indiana that does exist. And I can't tell you if it's indeed as anything other than a rail station repair yard. The problem is there is a large amount of turnstiles that seem to be designed to control human beings.
Facing the opposite direction, you can see that this area too is a very large fenced area with railroad track running the length of the fence and plenty of warehouses.
These warehouses were all sealed up. They completely closed all the windows.
This facility was supposed to have closed in June of 1993, yet instead several $1 million in federal funds have been spent on supposed renovations over the past 2 years.
So this was like late 90s this film was made.
Buildings that were never heated any time. Electronic turnstiles and
See,
prison bars.
Prison bars, electronic turnstiles, look at this. This is a repair yard for railroads. So the railroads would come in and bring human beings, they'd go into these turnstiles, be locked in and cordoned off and sent into rail cars like cattle.
All of the renovations to this property have involved putting in new fencing,
Right.
electronic turnstiles, concrete flooring in unused warehouse buildings,
Right.
and putting in large gas furnaces on buildings that were never heated any time in the past 20 years.
Right. That's the part that was really unusual. They had large gas furnaces put in these buildings. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with this. We're on to other truths. We've got behind me a military equipment procurement for local police. I'm going to show you an image that will kind of make you think twice. When you heard Barack Obama last week say, hey, we need it. Okay. Well, Sarah, why don't you say hello to everybody? So.
Oh, no, it's good. Go ahead.
No, I don't mind. Let's just talk about this in just a
So
bit.
all these, there's a lot of procurement that they're doing.
This is all the buildup. Yeah, they're sending this to local police departments, and at the same time, they're telling the American people they don't want a police state to form.
But
I mean,
also they're telling the police departments if you don't use it, you lose it. So they're encouraging a police state when even though they say, oh, we don't want a police state, they actually are in a way encouraging a police state because they have to use that equipment that it's on loan from the government. And they're like, well, if you don't use it, that means you don't need it.
Okay.
So we'll give it to somebody else. So it is, yes, it definitely, if they're going with that attitude, it definitely increases the likelihood of a police state because the police department wants to keep that equipment around. So of course they're going to use it.
Okay, you're saying FEMA is not in this, FEMA coffin. Yeah, this is a local
Hi, this is
explanation.
Jim, a Freedom Fighter radio show.
Yeah, I know, Sarkweather. There's a lot of people who are worried about the coffins, but is the camera too close? You want us to pull back a little bit? Let's do that. I can pull back right now. Is that better? How's
That's
that?
better.
All right. Thank you. It is better. Thank you. It's not the same angle as before. Angle of what? The angle of our show?
Is that better?
Whatever you want. I mean, Sarah's got control over her chair, but now she's sitting so low. Anyone who denies this and is not prepared will die. It's very simple. Richard Einstein. Richard, are you related to Albert Einstein? Yeah, I like to see both your heads. Thank you. Yeah. So I guess I'm not really worried about the buildup now that Sarah said this. This was just extra equipment that they downsized and sent to municipal areas around the world, around the country.
Okay, see if you can zoom out again one more time.
Oh, really? You wanted to zoom out one more time? Wow. All right. Your IQ is smaller, so you're not related. Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting maneuver. Okay. We're still in the frame, yeah. Yeah, we're more like real people now. We're big bodied and my massive chest is bursting out of my shirt.
Well, you want to zoom in? Go ahead and
No,
zoom
I'm
in.
good. We're all fine here. Mother
They were
Jones
just
is talking
saying
about, yeah.
that this looks more natural, whereas before, when it was zoomed in closer, then it was obviously like the.
Now,
cut off.
if we vote Republican now, when Ronald Reagan was in charge of our country, the Georgia Guidestones were officially placed during his.
Then the Georgia
presidency.
Guidestones I've heard recently had some word alterations or something was added to them.
Someone
or
changed
something?
the deadline on how many people should be living. They dropped the number to 500 million people on Earth. And the Georgia Guidestones, there are people that actually look at them as mathematical, almost jigsaw puzzles. And they study them. But under Reagan, I felt that there was a massive militarization buildup and a very big threat of a police state forming. I felt that under the Bushes, too. So when you say I should vote Republican, I don't really think Republicans have a clear vision of what's happening. I believe they're being manipulated just like the Democrats are. Yeah, we should tear the fencing down around all the FEMA camps. Hello there. Yeah, the FEMA camps have this double-sided fencing, which we really don't need. And, obviously we need regional food centers, yes.
You could put the banner. Should he put the banner below? I think it's good for that.
You don't like the banner up there?
I don't know.
All right. I gotta
Oh.
get the door. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Okay. Go ahead and get the door. Sounds good. All right.
Hey, gotcha.
Jonathan Gruber of MIT regrets arrogance on the health law. He was the health economist who had all those horrible remarks. Yeah, the green screen. It works differently when we're both in the screen versus I'm just in the screen or whatever. And then T-Mobile is launching a new $100 unlimited shared data plan. Ukraine forces and the rebels are largely suspending their hostilities. I guess their idea of lowering the price of gas in order to get things to cool down in Ukraine is finally coming to fruition. Thanks, David Nation. It does look extra white. I look like a porcelain doll today. Sarah, read chat. Oh no, did something happen? I don't know. Maybe they are preparing for an illness. Maybe I should get rid of this person. Is there something else I should read? Should I go back to yours previous comment, Robert? White, Xmas, oh no.
Wow, what happened?
Where
When
is
I'm
that?
in the screen, it works better. It's like a balancing agent. Look at that, how the
I know.
the colors balance. You know.
What happens if I leave?
My my navy jacket is really good balancing effect.
I think I would fit in Victorian England.
You
I
would.
always like reading about Victorian England.
A bit tan.
That's the jacket. Yep.
Yeah, it makes me look a little tan. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, so I'm not going to be able to solve all the answers, questions, the truth about FEMA camps. I mean, I'm still unsure myself whether these things exist. It's all hearsay. So let's move on to other truths that are happening in America right now. The Democrats are trying to frame their 2016 election, I believe, over somehow dealing with racial inequality and racial profiling without actually coming up with any ideas at all other than putting cameras on cops. So, by the way, we did the numbers. Obama has allocated $263 million to go to a private contractor, probably a no-bid contractor, to put cameras on 50,000 police officers.
And according to this site, the Free Thought Project Illinois made it a felony for its citizens to record the police.
That's pretty weird.
That's crazy.
Illinois.
I mean, the police
Pretty
can
weird.
record the citizens, but the citizens
Can't
record the
I
police.
know. So these police state environment is forming around the country. Illinois has got to be one of the worst because obviously it generated Barack Obama, the puppet that is doing everything the police state wants him to do. Yeah, felony to record police. Can you believe that, David Nation? I know.
Good question.
And they have car cameras. But you know something? I can go to Heartland America right now and buy a car camera for $39. It goes plugs right onto my window, motion activated, records 2 gigabyte SD RAM. It literally records 2-3 days of activity. $39. But for some reason we did the numbers, and 263 million broken down into 50,000 employees or cops with cameras is $5,260 per police officer to retrofit them with a camera. So somebody's stealing money yet again from our system, pushing an idea that creates a bigger police state without any protocols in place, any punishments for any cop that is in doing anything illegal, like brutality forces, misuse of conduct, misuse of a weapon. We're not seeing any changes in the laws. Not in low res, it's not, no. And if it's motion activated, it could handle 2 or 3 days. If it's just sitting on a car parked, it's not going to do much. Whatever. Yeah, very low res. Okay, if that makes you feel better. But $5,260 when you can get a Radio Shack, I could probably retrofit all the cameras they need for $100. I mean, seriously.
There's ones that they are made for police that are $400.
Yeah, even
right
that.
now on Taser International.
Richard Einstein said this is how every purchase the government does. $40 turns to $4,000. Yeah. So we've got a spending problem.
David is very good at being fiscally conservative.
I know, and this is why I really am running for president, because I'm extremely good with money and managing budgets. And I would love to be able to get my fingers on the U.S. budget and start trimming in areas that would really make a dent in our excessive waste that's going on. Now, tomorrow night is Wasteful Wednesday, but I'm establishing the logical framework for it by talking about the truth about waste in our government tonight. You know, I'm not going to say the canned oysters were great, but they weren't bad. I'll just say that. I actually bought a couple cans of extra oysters just to have on hand.
A U.S. audit found that billions in child tax credits were invalid. Yay, thank you.
Well, therein is a technical error. So the billions in tax credits were invalid. So $6 billion has been doled out to child tax credits to illegal aliens by the IRS. We just have that story right now from New York Times. Did you get this recently?
Yeah.
Somebody just sent it in the room?
No, I just was looking at Google News.
Okay, we'll check out. The story is about the $6 billion that the government's been giving illegal aliens for having children and using earned income tax credits to get that. It's been a scam they pulled over the U.S. That's why a lot of illegals are getting richer. And I halfway think that we're purposely, as citizens, being driven to the edge of our logical ability to comprehend anything. Most people are so fed up with their political system right now in our country that they're going, something's got to change. This is the worst we've ever seen it. For both parties to be complicit in allowing illegals to come over the border and collect all these services, they had to agree, you know. They had to have agreed to give these people all this refugee money. So they passed law after law. The immigration budget went skyrocketing. It started at what, $100 billion? It's going up to $300 billion for immigration reform. I mean, they keep adding dollars to this. And this has been the problem with the two parties ever since the beginning. They keep spending money we don't have and not finding simpler solutions. Now, Meow TV says that the Wi-Fi is essential for what? Why would I have to Wi-Fi the signal to the main station as we go? We could just record to the SD card. And your argument would be, obviously, that you don't want to lose anything. If a battle's going on, somebody could take the headset or pull the jacket off the cop, so you want a redundant video stream. That would be the only logic I could see. But it begs the question, are we really creating a bigger police state? Is this false flag activity with Ferguson and Trayvon Martin and everyone who's been involved in these racial issues? Are these just being drummed up by the media so they can justify another massive purchase of some device to some contractor to make an even bigger police state? I mean, that's exactly what happened with the rapid scanners when they put those in after the panty bomber went to the airport. In fact, the day after the panty bomber attack, there was an entire brochure for rapid scanners in the offices of every senator and congressman in America. Coincidental or an actual attempt to create the environment for a police state to form at the airport terminals? I don't know, it's your computer, Ed. That's what you get for getting a used computer at a thrift store. Okay, thanks for your response to due to my critical condition right now. It has to make you.
Don't read that.
What is that?
It's just an email. He got a phishing email that he didn't delete.
Don't ever respond to phishing emails. Okay,
you need to delete them right away.
Delete phishing emails. The truth is, our government is way behind the ball on hackers, on the nature of the internet and abusers and people that use all kinds of fraud techniques to do this. It took 5 years for the Justice Department to send out a warning about phishing in your email. How many of you have a grandparent that got emails and they said, well, honey, we sent them $5,000. I don't understand why they didn't send us the $1 million that they said they wanted us to hold on to for the Nigerian king. Because you got stung by the phishing scam.
Well, Ed, sometimes it might actually be your computer. The signal has to go from our computer to the servers of Vaughn to your computer. There could be a line along the way that could have problems. So don't blame us for the video freezing either.
Contact your lineman. Call the lineman on the railroad.
Yes, I watch you, Cam. We do read chat comments selectively for a reason, but sometimes I don't know.
Yeah, we try to respond as much as possible. He's a lineman on the cable.
Peter Goose, if it's private information, put it on a hard drive. If it's you don't care if the world sees it, put it in the cloud.
Our carrier is not Comcast, thankfully. I recommend what you do with your cable bills, and I've talked to a lot of people. when it comes up for renewal, go to the cable office and sit down and negotiate your best rate. Act like you're a renewed customer and you just want to get the best deal possible.
Act like you might leave them for someone better.
Yeah, say you're going to go to the competitor, even if it is another type of cable internet or DSL or whatever. Somebody asked me, should I have cloud storage or should I have a hard drive?
Wait, you say you're not worried so much about privacy, but you don't want your storage in the cloud and a hacker getting into it and deleting it all? If you use something like Google Drive, I use Google Drive all the time. I don't worry about a hacker getting into it and deleting it all because Google has tons of backups. Of course, I know David doesn't trust Google.
Data. You don't have financial data.
I don't know. Like I said, I also told him if it's secure, if it's private information, keep it on a hard drive. I did tell him that.
Okay.
I said if you don't mind it, if it's public information or you don't mind the public getting access to it, then it's okay to put it in the cloud. But if it's secure, I mean, financial data, if you don't realize financial data should be secure on a hard drive, sorry, that should be secure on a hard drive. That's actually the first thing I said.
Would earplugs and a kidney belt solve your F-18 problem?
The thing is, Snowflake Kitty, I'm not a huge proponent of Dropbox, and the reason is if you're worried about storage space issues, Dropbox holds everything. It basically replicates it everywhere on every computer. So if you have a computer that doesn't hold a lot of space, Dropbox, yes, has it in the cloud, but it also has a copy on your one computer, and it also has a copy on your laptop, and it also has a copy here. So it's like multiple copies, and it's taking up space everywhere, whereas I do like Google Drive because it's only in the cloud.
And they can fly F-18s down in Mojave. There's an entire base set up for this.
Yes, but do beware. If you're putting it in the cloud, you're making it public. But if it's, for me, it's like the question is, I don't really care if it's public, but I don't want it deleted. I still do trust the cloud.
Sarah and I were at the infancy of the cloud when we went down to Interop and met a lot of people in data security. And okay, I didn't mean to clear you out there, Trolls-R, but thank you for that. I didn't know how safe that link was, but I think it is a good thing. Thank you. Thanks, and Peter thanks you.
I'm actually
Let's be
copying it too.
I was a lineman for the county, doo-doo, riding rails, going up and down, laying cable line. Why hasn't our fiber optic system been installed? The final mile to everybody's house? I mean, why is it we're still sitting with this lame old technology sitting out here in front of our houses? Well, thank you, Henry. We all seem intelligent.
Because we have to actually go and buy the cable ourselves and lay it out.
I mean, Sarah was wondering, could I call the cable company and lay my own fiber optic? I said, well, you're going to need to get a lifter and a lot of zip ties. And,
Give me those boots. I'll climb that pole.
He says, Trolls-R says, fiber optic technology allows for 100% secure privacy.
Oh, that's why, because NSA doesn't want us to see our.
They don't want us to be private.
They don't want us to have secure privacy.
I was a lineman for the county. Well, thank you. I would have gladly been on the Lawrence Welk Show. A 1 and a 2 and a 3. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lawrence Welk Show. Today we'll have wonderful speakers from the gathering of community supporters here in the North Dakota area. Lawrence Welk was a very North Dakota guy. He was Norwegian, yeah.
Oh, interesting, Trolls-R.
He was a lineman for the county. Okay, so at first you need to look to see if you have any open ports. And
I don't think
if you do, that's how they're getting in, yeah.
Maybe. I don't know how you define trolling, but I don't think I'm trolling.
Yeah, and No says, we are so far behind and broke and obese and low IQ and etc. So No, do you think that America is a sitting duck for a takeover by monetary elitists who basically know exactly what we want? Money. They've turned us all into these like servants and if we're not servants, we're leeches. Servants and leeches of the system. Leeching off of the social services or serving others constantly, never getting ahead. wondering where our personal life is when it's extracted from our daily life when we go off to work and do whatever the man tells us to do.
In production, China is ahead of us, but do we really need to always produce more and more and more and more and more and more and more? Isn't there any time where we can actually be back, like sit back and say, I have enough?
A lot of people are saying that, but it's not being heard. It's the silent voice of the silent majority. Our DJ Bad Boy made a good point. He said that we're just sitting ducks for China to take over, pretty much, own this country, because we'll just sit here and let it happen. The liberals and the Democratic Party are the real problem right now, because they seem to be so mushy-brained. They never ask any questions. They don't ask how is it going to get paid for. They never say, what are we going to do? Who are we going to charge for this? Except, we'll just raise the taxes on working people.
How's it going to pay? What are you going to get when you get where you go, or something
Well,
like
the
that?
fact is, we have never had a fiber optic cable system laid in America because the people that run our entire FCC,
I can't check my IM.
they are actually in the money game. They want to help companies like Comcast and Clearwire and Frontier, General Telephone. All these people are on the take. That's why camera jackets are being sold for $5,000 a piece to the government, because they don't want to set up a simple cam model with a backup camera. A person could have two cameras for less than $100 installed in their body, one hidden and one on their head. And the cop could be approaching somebody with two cameras, one hidden, so that there wouldn't be a need for a redundant backup Wi-Fi connection all the time. And frankly, it's unrealistic to have a Wi-Fi video stream rolling all the time anyway.
David, how would you fix the public train system in the United States?
Well, for one, we need to lay new track. Right now, the plan for Barack Obama is to actually utilize all the existing track, which pushes a lot of those big, slow-moving freight trains off to the side and makes it hard to move rail cargo. Ironically, that's one of the problems with our country is we are prioritizing everything in the wrong direction. Let me see if I have
Wow, that's pretty cool, Trolls.
information on his high-speed rail system. Yeah, his plan is kind of a disaster in the making.
They already are. I know they're laying, they're laying the same track. I guess it's the same track, but it's new.
New railing, yeah.
New railing.
That's standard upkeep. That goes on all the
Well,
time.
for a while it wasn't going on. I'm thankful that Berkshire Hathaway's doing that.
Well, maybe they're doing something to make more
upkeep.
money. I don't know. I mean, maybe they all make money. They don't just go out in the tracks for free. Yeah, I don't have his high-speed. Let me go to Obama and just check Obama pics to see his high-speed rail trim.
Yes. Put more trucks on the road would help. Well, I think opening more jobs, not necessarily putting more trucks on the road.
Well, laying parallel tracks has its benefits because we can open up the possibility for a maglev. We can open up another rail line that would be a high-speed rail line across the country. We don't have to take up space on the rail lines.
David never claimed to be a libertarian. Never.
No, I said I was. If anyone wants to look at my philosophies, it would be like a progressive libertarian.
Progressive.
Yeah, but that's as close as I would depict myself.
What would you do about the aging infrastructure such as roads and bridges?
Well, I know that the total cost for our roads and bridges to repair is around $25 billion. And frankly, we have that available. If we're going to start printing up money, yeah, we could fix the roads and bridges very easily. But instead, Barack Obama wants to send $500 million to the rebel troops in Syria, or allocate another $24 billion to the UN. He wants to forget about our country. And I'm sure his successor in the Democratic Party would say the same thing, that we need to send it money to the UN, according to that. We should help our country, and it helps build jobs at the same time. I mean, that's the only way we're going to get this country rolling in the right direction. All right, yeah, I don't have his high-speed rail plan, but it's a joke. It really is. Okay, let's...
Do you need some more coffee? Because I was going to take a break.
Yeah. I'll get the coffee, and then I'll be ready to go.
Okay.
So right now behind you is the billions in child tax credits that were invalid.
Right.
U.S. audit fines, but the Internal Revenue Service gave out $6 billion in child tax credits to illegal aliens. I thought it was 24 million, and it went from 24 million to $6 billion.
Well, it could have been. It's not. I mean, they didn't say that they gave $6 billion to illegal aliens. They said they gave out $6 billion in child tax credits to people that were ineligible to receive them. That could have been single people saying, "I have a kid," or people that said, I'm going to claim my child even though he's 25 years old. Is Guttermouth banned? What? I'm not any kind of MK Ultra or MK Ultra handler or handlee. I'm not controlled like that. You found what David is looking for? No, Karaga, we often tell people, don't donate if you can't afford it. We'd rather you take care of yourself first. I'm a female, The USA, last 3 years, the USA created more good jobs than the rest of the industrial world combined. Is that saying a whole lot, Topper Dan? I mean, couldn't we say that not just for the last 3 years, but the last 300 years? So maybe not 300 since we weren't around for 300 years. But you're saying that before the last 3 years, then the rest of the world was creating jobs? There are huge, yeah, I think that they're mostly part-time service jobs with huge turnover rates. Exactly. So other countries were creating more jobs than us. And what is considered a job? I watch UCAM. You can ask David that one. I have certain ideals that I think are kind of libertarian, like I don't want the government to be involved in people's personal relationships. However, I also do believe that we should help take care of our constituents. Okay, refried bacon. We have been on a roll lately. Now is the time to get the job you want to grow into. I often tell people that, actually, Topper Dan. I say, hey, instead of saying, I can't find a job, ask yourself, what do you really want to do in life? And then apply to the company that you really want to work for, if you want to work for the company, or go start, your own business if that's what you really want to do in life. Well, you can choose to not work, I suppose. Would we be doing anything regarding the obesity crisis if elected? I think that the obesity crisis has been very well addressed by the Obama administration. I think that the only thing that we can do to help with the obesity crisis is target families, help people that need it. But I think that there's a lot of people that are on the other end of the spectrum that don't get enough to eat. I watch you, Cam. I just said if you would like to go start your own business, or even if you don't want to start your own business, if you're able to if you want to actually just live your life, that's fine too. All right, Wendell's therapist, I'm sorry I skipped over your text. Welcome. The reason my screen is glitching out is because it seems to work when David and I are both here, but then when he leaves, it glitches out on me, and I'm just going to ignore it because I don't mind being a little bit pixelated. Thanks, Mandrake. Mandrake. Don't you realize what they're doing to our bodies, Mandrake? You're welcome, Wendell's therapist. Thanks for yelling at me. Or whatever cheering me on, I'll say. David will write his own speeches. Even if I tried to help him write his own speeches, the only thing I could help him try to do that he's not very good at is rhyming, like songs, but I don't know. Well, I think it is hard to ignore. I think it is easy to ignore the facts when you are not one of the facts. Infer from that what you will. What I would say what I've said is that I would like to change our immigration policies so that people can become citizens while they're in a foreign country. And I support this movement because I believe everyone should follow their dreams, Henry. So, whatever they are, try to do what you want in life. Oh, you really think that this is a bounce, a dead cat bounce? So I think that there's still a lot of people suffering from what it sounds like. No, I did not watch the new Star Wars trailer. I think, you know what I really think, Dan, is that it's when people, I think it's all about confidence. And as one of our former presidents said, even when we're at peace around the globe, if we suffer a crisis of confidence, then we're likely to suffer as a country. And no, we haven't hit the bottom yet.
No, we're floating in la la land right now with printed money and all this extended credit.
Some people would like us to hit bottom.
I'd like to see some serious retraction of the credit that has been doled out in America, and give more to average people. I'll be right back. I'm brewing coffee right now.
Okay. Some are the Iron Duke. Some Americans are suffering, and some are not. No, the thing it's not Obama's fault that we're facing a government shutdown. It's simply the reason that we're facing a potential government shutdown is because of our wording in our legalese, in our completely idiotic. No, I'm sorry, that was opinion, obviously. Our completely propagated economy, are, basically it's, yes, I understand that, Dan. So basically, if we did not have a cap, we would not be facing a government shutdown. And who creates the caps? The governments. So why do they create a cap knowing that everyone's going to it's going to just continually just create a government shutdown later on when it's all a fallacy anyway? Weighs, WEIGHS. Why? How would that help? If they were, if I don't. No. Bruce, it wouldn't help. Am I in favor of a unicameral federal legislature? It's an interesting idea, but no, I'm not. The reason I'm not is because I do think it has a check and balance, even though, ironically, it's not the original check and balance that the founders of our Constitution agreed on or wanted to create. They wanted the people to have a say, the states to have a say, and then the president to oversee everything, and of course then the judicial branch as well. So it's having a bicameral. I will say this, in some ways, if I'm libertarian at all, I would no, the people should be the ultimate power. And that's what the Constitution says, Charles R. Whatever isn't set by the nation devolves to the states and then to the people themselves. So people should have the ultimate power. But what I was saying as far as a bicameral Congress, I think that a bicameral Congress provides an extra step for them to go through before a law is passed. And I think that extra step is important, because otherwise they would just do anything they wished. I'm not necessarily saying I support the repeal of the 17th Amendment. I am saying that it's because obviously I believe in our amendment process, and if the people believe that, I like the idea that the people have the say for the Senate and the representatives. However, I also believe in retaining a bicameral Congress, because it's like I said, it makes it a little bit more difficult for them to pass legislation, and anything that makes it difficult for them to pass legislation, I tend to see as a good thing. Well, the original intent of the design, if you look at, yes, it's to cause more argument and less bad laws, but also the original intent was that the Senate would be representing the state governments, the individual state governments, and then the House of Representatives would be representing the people directly. Yes, some states have very few people, which is why they only have one House member. Yeah. And yes, exactly. And some states had very few people, so it does help balance it. Yes, we do need a bicameral policy, even though it's now the people electing the senators, which I actually prefer. Then I think that the 17th Amendment really is about the people having more of a say than government. I'm not wearing that much blue eyeshadow anymore. I was wearing blue eyeshadow yesterday because I was wearing a blue shirt. I'm not brainwashed. You think the U.S. should buy grease? It's going cheap. What? I didn't think that they're selling grease. If they are, it's worth looking into. I'm sure the Germans already bought grease if it were for sale in the first place. Yes, I do a lot of my own thinking. Sometimes I don't voice everything that I think. I do quite a bit of voicing, though. Well, Richard Einstein, I think you should run for office then. You may think my ideas are silly. It's fine. Anyway. Whoa. Yeah, Henry doesn't have anything positive to say, but he's also, I can just ignore him.
Okay, I'm back. Restore the coloring to your hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Well, then you could affect change, Richard Einstein. Instead of just hanging all of the you claim you want to go after the government, why don't you fix the problem from within? I mean, you can, maybe then you might have a little empathy for what they go through, but anyway.
yeah, so trying to constantly be yourself is the key. Just tell it like it is.
Thanks, Allura.
Sometimes you have to be yourself.
That's the makeup Xanatril that I've been doing.
The violent revolution won't be an answer, Richard. It's only going to lead to more problems. Anarchy doesn't create peace. It creates problems. Generally, when people engage in violence, it's exactly what these overseers want. They actually are looking to see the American people fight amongst themselves and hate on illegals and back and forth, because that'll trigger martial law and they'll have even more power as a police state. They want that. So they want to trigger violence. So you're kind of playing into their hand, the elitists. What they don't expect the American people to do is actually get somebody on the ballot and create a third party. And I don't know how I could even expect that now after all these years of trying this and seeing that people just don't want to do anything. The reality is we're all so sidetracked that we don't have the time to bother. Consequently, they're taking our rights away systematically. They're slowly taking us away from what we hoped was democratic action. They want to control the message. They have there's evidence that our media is being manipulated even at the internet level. All the internet sites that talk about the news are found that they just had a blackout last week. I twittered this link last night about a blackout that's been artificially created by what appears to be the government to control the message, so that in an emergency, if people want to start talking, they won't be able to. Henry, I don't know damn well I won't be president. No, I don't know that at all. I actually believe I will be president. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. I have the free time to do this too. Not many people do have the free time. But the real problem is, are there people ready for an out-of-the-box president who can solve problems on the fly? Are they ready for a person who has great answers without reading off a teleprompter? Are they ready for an honest person to run for the presidency? Or do they want somebody who's going to be completely owned by corporate America? That's really the question. And I think the American people are still kind of the belief that Democrats and Republicans give them another chance. That's my concern for people like those people who are going to continue to vote party line, regardless. I mean, what do I have to lose by trying to solve America's problems and running as an honest man? Really, I've got nothing to lose. So what happened? Somebody attacked somebody with lighter fluid?
Oh, horrible. This poor girl in Mississippi, she was only 19. She was burned over 98% of her body.
She couldn't have possibly lived.
And no, she's not alive, but she did tell the police something before she died. Hopefully she told them who killed her. Or who killed her. You
see, that's the thing. I Watch You Cam already has succumbed to the belief that the elitists have implanted in his brain. He says, David, you don't get to be president unless you're completely owned. And he puts a little news avatar out there. Alert, alert. You've already been bought, dude. You've already completely bought the lie. And they own you. You're one of their minions, the people that don't believe in anything. They don't believe in the possibilities. Well, no problem. I don't have a problem, just being the guy that represents a third party. You may all think that it'll never happen, but you see, you've already lost. You've already succumbed to their power. And you're living in a world where you're trying to make sense of it all within the box that they've confined you in. And many of you are struggling with the idea of even voting a third party, and it's because you don't want to step out of the box. It's nothing, you're not going to lose anything by voting third party. You're not going to lose anything. by having a new voice in American politics. You're actually going to gain a huge amount of interest and involvement in the political process. And I will be getting more and more people to communicate on many issues. Right now, we've got a very stifled level of communication. It's bumping between a couple of bottle-headed idiots, pundits in the news. That's all we get. You guys have already been bought and sold. I'm sorry to say, but you really are the problem because you're standing in the way of a solution. You're not willing to step out of the box. So the box is always going to keep the common man down. There's no way the box is going to get anybody elevated from the situation they're in. I'm just telling you, you're never going to get tax reform. You're never going to get term limits. You're never going to get election reform. You're never going to even get $1 from the TARP money that was doled out, $6 trillion. You're never going to get a penny of that. You won't get low-cost loans. You won't get low-cost like scholarships for average people. It'll still be quota-based, based on your race. Basically, you have been owned. You've been bought and sold. And if you fall into that category, I guess you will be the reason why our nation will continue to be manipulated by powerful monetary interests. Because you're the minion that they created that won't do anything, won't take a chance on a third party. Amazing. Well, frankly, I've been a true individual all my life. And I must tell you, if you don't pursue individuality, you'll never be free. You'll always be working for the man. You'll always be answering to somebody who thinks you're being weird or disturbing. You'll never be yourself.
I voted for Ralph Nader in the past before I met David.
I like Ralph Nader. I just don't.
Always, I guess, an independent a little bit.
Sarah's always been an independent. Yeah, she voted for Ross Perot too. Yeah.
I worked on a Republican campaign, but
yeah.
That's really.
UN Food Agency to resume aid to Syrians after donors are stepping up. I know. First we bomb, surgically strike the Syrians, killing over 500 people, 31 of which we know are civilians, were civilians innocently killed by our bombs. And then we send $500 million into rebel territories of Syria. We don't know who's a rebel, who's not. They don't wear badges saying they're ISIS when they get funding from the government. So we are all over the place with Barack Obama and his completely convoluted foreign policy. The illegal aliens are given priority over residents in hospitals. Your grandma was turned away, name your price. Because what's going on is this overly concerned white guilt society of Democrats who have created this bureaucracy, and Republicans who sat by inertly going, well, we better not make waves, has allowed this system to cheat the citizens, to give all this benefit to illegals. And that's a play that came from the top. No, I'm not a procrastinator. I'm a philosophator. I like to go off on philosophy. That's what I like to do. White guilt is when you feel like you did something wrong by being born white, and knowing that there were slaves at one time, 5 generations ago, that were victimized. You feel somehow you're part of that. You were like a slave owner, even though you have no relationship whatsoever to the slave owners. So white guilt is what has created the situation we have, where people have been abusing affirmative action and getting into colleges with B- averages, whereas straight A students like me were rejected by major universities like Harvard, Yale, Princeton. The saltwater sports car. Yeah, they cut her right open. The Iraqi girl was accidentally bombed by one of our smart bombs. That's not too smart, is it, Topper? Smart bombs are not so smart. The sports car that runs on salt water. Vehicle goes from 0 to 60 miles in 2.8 seconds. Has just been approved for EU roads. Wow, that's cool. We'll feature that on our Technology Thursday show. Thanks a lot, Big Zed. High-speed rail. Oh, there. Starkweather has the high-speed rail plan. Yeah, this is it. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, you're at the whitehouse.gov site? Yeah, let's see if they have the graphic. There it is. That's the graphic. Okay, so these are the graphics they want to do for high-speed rail. And clearly, they'd be occupying space that the freight tracks are using. And oftentimes these rail lines will be on old tracks, and they're going to be trying to bump up speeds to 60, 70 miles an hour, when a maglev could be built side by side to these tracks and never block the traffic for the freight. Plus, if we had a solar-powered, wind-powered maglev rail, we would be able to actually create diesel-electric, all-electric trains. So our entire freight line would no longer rely on diesel to go anywhere. Instead of producing all kinds of pollution, diesel locomotives and the diesel-electric locomotives would be converted to all battery. That's what the future I see, with a parallel track for maglev. So battery operated and powered with renewable energy, rail lines that are slowly moving freight, at the same time high-speed 300 mile per hour transportation systems that would actually save people money and get them right away to their destination. Plus, these maglevs will be able to carry smart cars on them. There's all kinds of free energy technology, I know, but again, the two parties are standing in the way of us tapping into that free energy. The free energy that we're looking at, oh yeah, right, graphene capacitors are brand new technology coming from Lockheed Martin, right? The free energy concepts that would be unleashed if we got the oil companies out of the political spectrum, or had them at least openly discuss things in front of the public. We would be able to get a certain amount of control over the oil companies. They want certain rights. Obviously, drilling onshore would be easier and a lot cheaper for oil companies. And if we allowed environmentally safe online drilling operations, we could trade that for control over the industry itself. Now, the oil industry has never been controlled. The truth is, the oil industry is controlled by no government agency. It's a commodity. It's seen only by trade bureaus, as fairness in trade oversees the oil industry, and weights and measures, like making sure all your pumps are running properly and gallons dispensed properly. But we have no oversight over the oil companies. And there was a study that was done about 7 years ago, excuse me, right when Barack Obama took the reins from Bush, that had the top 6 experts on oil futures investments testify in front of subcommittee hearings, claiming that if all of those investments were public, no one would be seeing the kind of high prices at the pump. So we could very well continue to see low prices at the pump if we just force the oil companies to invest publicly above board in their futures. All oil futures would be like a public trading opportunity. And they couldn't hide behind shell corporations. That would lower the price of gas by probably $50 to $1 a gallon automatically. But we're already seeing pretty good low prices on oil, but it could be a false bottom. We may be seeing the oil industry change. Right now, Saudi Arabia is pumping so much oil to keep up. It's just, it's maintaining the flow, but Saudi Arabia can't last forever. No, I would never oppose the Keystone Pipeline because it'll save the environment. I was trying to explain that to you. Number one, we need a backbone of oil supplies beyond our proven and strategic reserves. And the oil pipeline, the Keystone Pipeline, actually guarantees that we would have that. Plus, we would be able to provide safe refining capability as opposed to unsafe units all around the world that are polluting. We could help use the Keystone Pipeline money to modernize our existing refinery system, which is probably over 50 years old and needs to be modernized. We could loop the carbon. We could actually keep the oil right here in the North American continent, as opposed to the Chinese trucking across the entire Pacific Ocean, which is going to be dangerous. You know there's going to be massive oil spills in the Pacific. Basically, folks, we're sitting on the precipice of a scorched earth scenario. All of us right now, looking back in our history saying, oh, I love the trees. I love going to the Yellowstone before it blew up. I love going to the Pacific Ocean and swimming in the waves before it became radioactive. I love going and getting fish down in the Gulf Coast states before the oil leached in and started making the fish taste like, Valvoline. We're at the precipice right now where we can turn this whole thing around. But because we're clinging to this mindless belief that our two parties are going to somehow pull a rabbit out of their ass, we are limiting our opportunity. I mean, all I'm asking is a third party. That's all we need to start negotiating a pathway through the middle of the political spectrum. Thank you. So I'm hoping logic will prevail, but it will require a lot of effort talking about it to family members and convincing them that we need to start thinking of a different way of creating a political choice for Americans. Henry, I don't need a job. If I needed a job, I'd get one. But I like the way I live, and I'm living very effectively, and I have a long-term plan and a vision where I don't work for the man every day. Working for the man every night and day. Where I don't have to stand there and go, "Hi, welcome to Walmart. How can I help you?" I just don't need that right now. I'm in the twilight years of a very beautiful life. And, having gotten to 54 years old, I feel like, hey, now I'm going to kick back and enjoy myself. So I might just go to the Bahamas and, hang out on a couple cruises. I am working for everybody every day, just talking about building a third party and waking people up to the realities that our government's completely corrupt. Check this out. Breitbart, Big Book, 10 felons, government. Top 10 felons, fugitives, and shady characters in Obama's life. Wow. Good story. Okay. Interesting. There's, of course, right. Blagojevich. Mitt Romney, Bain Capital, not increasing radically sleazy campaign payment. Yeah. Well, when you talk about people like Rod Blagojevich, who's serving, 10 years? That was when his hair was brown. Now I understand it's gray. He was using some sort of a dye. He apparently didn't get my green dye. Yeah. You could always rub prison grass on his hair and have my green look. I don't know why guest chat is off. Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you for speaking up for the guests. Because Sarah turns it off at night at the end of the show. Usually because we were getting trolled well into the evening. Sorry, guests. I didn't mean to stifle your opportunity to talk in the show. In the town of Gulfport, illegal aliens are treated like royalty. They have been given better health care and have been priority jobs. One alien is running for sheriff. I wouldn't doubt it. They're trying to destroy our country. That's why I'm trying to explain that to you. Obama's got such an open door policy toward illegal aliens that he's literally turning our country into a hellhole for the good, solid citizens. Yeah, he's in a minimum security prison. Yeah. Well, I watch UCAM. It says in 1961, the nascent Congressional Republican Party gained votes from the Democratic Party and the Whig combined. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to pull a lot of the Southern Democrats away from the Democratic Party into the center. A lot of Southern Democrats probably would like to vote Republican, but they never have in the past. Guest chat's on. I just turned it on. Oh, sorry. I flipped the wrong switch. Sorry, guests. You can come in now. Well, that's the thing. Many people are thinking, well, why not vote for the guy who makes the most sense? Henry, I don't need a job. I'm not broke, man. If I was broke or near to broke, I'd be going, yeah, I'm really worried, but no, I'm not. And I have assets I could easily liquidate. I invested a lot a long time ago that, in a non-interest bearing investment. I can't get money or derive interest from any of my investments, but I could liquidate. If you're holding gold, you're not going to make any interest on gold or silver, right? So you have no income whatsoever, but still have money in arrears if you have to pull from it. That's why people use the strategy of investing in gold and silver. In the event of a disaster or economic meltdown, they can trade it for the current currency that's active. I don't care about the banks failing. I can live out of my cupboards. I've got over a year's supply of sardines and Vienna sausages and nuts and canned food. I'm still living off my Y2K supplies. I do know about the Bundy Ranch. Yeah, sad what happened to the Bundys. All because Harry Reid wanted a solar farm for Chinese people. Isn't that crazy? And when it all was revealed, Harry Reid slipped back into the crack in the hole that he's buried or hiding in. Gold is tanking right now because they're altering the market. They're flushing it out again. Top or down, the paper gold and paper silver market, COMEX, New York Mercantile, has engaged in this for years. Eventually, it'll be too much for them because the demand for real tangible gold and silver is going to take over, and they can't print up paper fast enough to meet that demand. I do believe in one waterboarding for terrorists, one event, but beyond one event, I don't believe waterboarding is effective. Well, for one, I run LA. The legacy I'd like to leave for the American people is a brand new way of handling the environment and also building business, American business, at the same time. We've got an environmental crisis brewing, and we have a need for lots of American jobs. So I'm going to try to partner the growth industry in environmental science, like solar panel production, high mileage vehicles. I anticipate the U.S. corporation will be created, the U.S. Auto Corporation, a government-owned corporation that will actually produce one automobile that'll cost $15,000 and get 100 miles per gallon. We're going to be able to sell this, export it around the world. We need to ramp up one particular area of every industry. Auto industry needs one great car. Solar industry needs one great solar idea to go viral among all the people. And then we can start to see small private operations install these solar panels. And we'll be able to get money back from the panels themselves. We can do this up front by simply funding an industry and saying, whoa, here it is. Bring out solar panels that go on top of your rooftop. The cost maybe $2,000 plus $2,000 or $3,000 for installation. $5,000 rooftops. Solar panels on cars too. Sure, we can do that. That could be the main focus. We could actually have a solar panel hood, solar panel roof, and a solar panel back end. No other car in the entire world is made that way. And it will provide backup electricity that would augment the cost of fuel and help charge your batteries as you go. I'm not a libertarian. I told you if you want to look at me, it would be like I was a progressive libertarian. I was never a libertarian. Don't quote me as a libertarian. I believe the government can do things. That's why I have great plans of building, having the government get involved in building things that would actually be a product that would bring money back to the government, being the taxpayer, and the taxpayer would have less of a tax burden. You'd even get money back, like in Alaska. The residents, every citizen of Alaska residents over the age of birth gets $1,000 a year. I do believe Wall Street knows the dollar is going to fail, and it's like a mad rush to the end right now. In Oak Island, there's an Ark of the Covenant in Oak Island. You really believe that? Okay. The Mexicans should be getting large boats. Okay. Oh, head to England. Oh, well, England has an immigration problem already, Ulster Ultras. Yeah, there is 1,000 on meth, Uncle Lester. And how do you know that? You know the rate. You know a lot about meth. You want to tell us about meth, Uncle Lester? Okay, I'll try to dig up that. You're recording me? Well, please do. Everything in our show is recorded. So people that Barack Obama knew, the criminals, top 10 felons at Breitbart.com, fugitives and shady. Now, I'm going to guess that Rod Blagojevich is just the first. 14-year prison sentence for political corruption. This guy's a close second. Tony Rezko, a Syrian businessman that managed to give Barack Obama $350,000 over a 5-year period to run for state senate in Illinois. I'm not libertarian. I'm a progressive libertarian, if you want to call me that. I said that 4 times already. No, I don't think there are, Shrek. The third parties that are out there are really inactive. They don't do a nightly show where they interact with all their viewers and constantly keep abreast of politics. Tony Rezko sentenced to 10.5 years for corruption and kickbacks. Okay, Barack Obama gets $350,000 in donations. Right after that, Rezko got $100 million in HUD money. $100 million. And he's serving time. He's probably making money in prison right now. The guy's a businessman. That's right. He raised money for Obama to run for Illinois senator. Obama shelled out $300,000 under the House's asking price, paying $1.65 million according to ABC News. Oh, really? So he bought a house from this guy too. Oh yeah, there's a whole series of things going on here. Great link. Thanks for sending that in. You guys, well, it may be old news, Magnus, but it's still relevant. The corruption of this president hasn't gone unnoticed. It's all part of a whole series of indictments that will be put forth once he is charged with fraud. As president, I will initiate the Justice Department to investigate Barack Obama heavily. And we will get the truth about everything. It'll all be brought to light. Yeah, it's a fake dissemination of information. I think it's designed to destabilize the CIA. Dianne Feinstein, leader in the military arms committee, chairman, oversight committee, she actually is trying to lead the dialogue against the CIA. It's basically to win Democratic votes. When I just told you earlier that Barack Obama actually had just as many cases of torture and rendition under his legacy as George Bush has. And an article came out in the New York Times the day of the, ironically, or coincidentally, or intentionally, strategically, an article came out in the New York Times the day that the Boston Marathon attack occurred. And, well, I know, we're not going to destabilize anything. But what happened was that entire Boston Marathon attack pushed to the front page, and the story, done by a very good peer-reviewed, objective group, found that Barack Obama had done actually more innocent killings, collateral damage, more rendition, and more torturing than Bush had. But no one read the article, and no one heard about it in the mainstream media. No, I don't love big government. And that, in fact, if you read my book, Hybrid Capitalism, you would understand that I believe that small is beautiful. That we need to reduce the presence of the federal government and certainly reduce the pay scale of our federal employees. I want to hire people in America to do things that would benefit them at $36,000 a year. There's a lot of people that'll work for $36,000 a year, unlike the 150,000 plus people in the government right now. Literally 77,000 people in America, federal government jobs, make over 150,000. And they're not doing anything more than a guy at 36,000 would be doing. They're basically just filling a cog in a wheel. This is absurd. We've got social bureaucracy everywhere that needs to be trimmed and cut. We need to cut the fat in every department in this country. So when you say I'm just another big government liberal, forget it, man. You're not even with me on the same page. We're going to go line by line and red tag and yellow tag every bit of waste in this country is facing, and then go to the Congress directly. And I'll have a 2-hour slate during the day where C-SPAN will bring my monitor right into their office and saying, look Craig Stevens is no longer in charge in Alaska, but why did you build that bridge to nowhere? This kind of guy needs to be confronted. And why are you allocating $35 billion for Lockheed Martin this year, guys? I'll be sitting at the table. No, it doesn't, Topper Dan. That's a misnomer. Real brain power comes from people who just have common sense. I find so many people out there in government that just don't have any common sense. They fill a gap. You call them up on the phone, they'll answer the phone and go, hi, thank you for calling the FCC. Oh, hi, can I talk to Bill Spikes? I'm sorry, we can't take your call right now, but please leave a message after the tone. I mean, the guy, it wasn't even recording, he just didn't want to talk to me. There are going to be people in every government that do that. Obama's health care is emaciated and overcharging at the same time. We can't possibly compete with Obamacare spending at this point. Yes. I'm not crazy at all. I'm a progressive who believes that we can shrink the size of government and we can make much more effective programs. Okay, for instance, thank you. Say you are making about $900 a month. Your Section 8 money is being pulled out. Right? So a couple hundred would go to your Section 8. And you're on disability. So you're getting $900 a month. You're not on the full disability. You're just, kind of like limping along. Well, you're going to have to right now go to your local HUD department and have an inspection of your facility. They're going to have to check your bank records. You're going to have to sit in front of them, and they're going to have to make sure that you're doing the right thing. Do you know how much that HUD worker is being paid to do that? When all of this could easily be checked against your electricity usage. A simple connection of the two dots. Your electricity usage indicates how many people are living in your house. If there's a spike, then we would target it with a simple visit to your home, a drop-in. We wouldn't need the massive infrastructure of fat asses sitting around at the Social Security Department and Department of Health and Human Services, literally collecting $80,000 to $100,000 checks per year, forcing you to walk through all kinds of hoops, and maybe you're disabled and you're limping at the same time. I am relaxed. That's just an example. All right, David, are you? No, I'm not reptilian. Oh, man. Courtney Dupree, a Democratic fundraiser convicted of bank fraud. Wow. And these are the people running our country. And they're just creating more fat asses sitting around going, "How can I provide you most excellent service, sir?" Muslims have a right to practice their religion, Ulster. But they don't have the right to gather together in militias and form jihads in our country that are posing a threat to our national security. Frankly, we've got no problem there. We'll be able to deal with everybody as long as we provide opportunity and always recognize that they have a choice, that they can actually either work or live like, bare minimum in the modernized projects that we're going to be developing. There will be tent cities. There's going to be a lot of tent cities in America when I become president. There are people that know for a fact that it's a lifestyle choice. And if we don't give people a choice, they end up making that unfortunate choice of living on the street. Now, I'm not going to sit back and watch 4 million homeless people walk around with nothing. That page is not popping up, Mad Dog. Check the link. It's a drop in the bucket. Yeah, the bankers are stealing way more. There's all kinds of Wall Street welfare, trolls are. And you're right, the entitlement fraud is part of it, but Wall Street welfare is really much bigger. I'd love to talk about Sandy Hook. The truth about Sandy Hook is we never did see the bodies of the innocent kids that were killed. The crisis actor scenario really does seem to make sense. And they did apparently parade those kids out in front of all those people at the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So yeah, the truth about Sandy Hook is there is no truth about Sandy Hook. It's all fake. The entire redacted document didn't have one stitch of blood evidence in it except at the outside of the school, like a person dropped some drops with a paintbrush. That's it. We never saw any bloody closet. Check through the evidence. I powered through the evidence one night, couldn't find a stitch of blood evidence. There was no outline around Nancy Lance's body. There was no body in the Lance house, yet supposedly he killed his mother. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. No, I'm not going to STF you about Sandy Hook. This guy want to know the truth about Sandy Hook. There is no truth about Sandy Hook. It was a complete false flag operation to trigger gun control. Next question. Would you as president enforce investigations and report to you direct? Yes, Fairbyte, I will. I'll be working directly with the lie detected Justice Department. I will not talk to anybody in the Justice Department until they're lie detected. And then we'll be moving forward and doing everything we can to get honesty in every single branch of the government. But it's not going to be something I can do all automatically. This is a long process, and you can't get rid of corruption that quickly. It's far too difficult. It's embedded deep in our system. So having to pull a guy from nowhere with a high IQ to solve the problems in America is not that crazy of an idea. But unfortunately, it's an extremely dangerous idea for me. So I'm walking down a very dark road to my, no doubt, assassination, simply doing what I'm doing. It is realistic to deal with the top-down restoration of our government, but it's not realistic in any way to believe that we're going to eliminate corruption. That would be way too idealistic. But we're going to deal with everything we can without disturbing the natural flow of things. The natural flow of things right now is they want more, and they're already rich. So we're going to have a real problem allocating funds unless we have a president with an eye on busting up monopolies, which is my primary goal. I want to help revive a healthcare backbone with our healthcare solution. We want to bring in a whole series of healthcare solutions, more public doctors, and many more mobile medical units that you could ever imagine. I want 200 mobile medical units in every city in America, or 200 total, dispersed in every city in America. All around the country we'll have mobile medical units, and these units will actually be deployable and could easily provide people on the East Coast and West Coast and the central area with immediate preventative health care and triage solutions to their immediate desperate healthcare needs. I don't want to create more tent cities, no, but I want to make sure that tent cities have similar vehicles. Imagine one of these vehicles right here with a washer and dryer, 5 bathrooms, a shower that has recycled water. I'm never going to shut up about the mobile medical units. They're a solution that will provide the backbone and bypass to our existing healthcare crisis. Well, some are going to start with just spidered units out there with maybe a lower cost profile. We might produce some high mileage vehicles we can turn into ambulances. My biggest problem is wherever you go in America, every mile it costs you about $200 a mile or more on average to go in an ambulance. That's ridiculous. $200 a mile or more. In my case, I mean, if I went to the local hospital and back, or just to take me to the local hospital, they'd charge me $3,000 to go 8 miles. So they're a lot higher where we live, but on average it's probably around $200 to $300 a mile, which is ridiculous. We can't possibly do that. David Shrek 86 has a question. Okay. You need to plan out your presidency from beginning to completion. Well, we'll certainly work with you on that. Would you like to work in the planning department, Golden Orbs? All right. We have a huge shortage, David, in physicians. Good luck. Well, if we didn't have the AMA standing in our way, we wouldn't have a problem. I do look a little jaundiced. Yeah, last night we had a problem with color. Let's go back to that same issue. Hang on. It's the auto white balance that was messing with me. Is this better? Okay. No, Obama didn't plan anything out. He has absolutely no idea what he's doing. Obama wakes up every morning and asks for the teleprompter reader to tell him what to say. He's not actually involved in his presidency. He's just reciting off of a teleprompter. What makes you think this guy, who has 115 IQ, could ever manage this nation? I mean, you can see where he's put to the test and he's asked, get this, we got a liberal president who's asked the important question, do you think that the government should create jobs? Teleprompter's not on, right? Speechwriters aren't sitting behind him with little messaging units. Well, make no mistake about it. The government is not responsible for creating jobs. Thank you, Trollzar. That's what he said. So in other words, Ben Bernanke and now Janet Yellen, of course, their plan to revive the economy by putting money into it didn't involve creating government jobs, which was what exactly FDR did when he revived our nation's economy after the Great Depression and created the New Deal. I mean, where did this guy get his education? And don't tell me Columbia and Harvard, because I doubt seriously if we can trace those records. I mean, come on. Even Ben Bernanke studied the New Deal as his dissertation for his PhD at Harvard or Princeton. It's illogical to think that our country wouldn't create jobs at the government level. And then just 2 weeks ago, Hillary Clinton boldly stated that she didn't think business created jobs. I mean, I don't know what her IQ was when she was a lawyer, but obviously controlled medication can affect your ability to think. I don't even know who Gruber is, Magnus. I don't know, you're a DJB. I have no idea. Okay. I have a dream, though, Dave. A man with a plan. Well, go to our website. We've got a massive plan. We've got americasthirdparty.com, which is a plan in and of itself. I've got a book for sale on the site where we actually talk about, at the store, we talk about hybrid capitalism and how to revive our economy. Let me bring you up to the store. It's up there at the top. You can buy our book and read about it. It's a 200-page book, or roughly 200 page. And it talks about how to revive our economy, getting the government to run like a business. All right, that's not popping up. Oh, that's because I'm right in front of it. Okay. But yeah, that's for sale. You go to our main site and you'll see our platform, which strongly lays out our plan to revive the economy at many different levels. We have brand new ideas to stimulate our economy. One of the most important ideas that we have is our homestead renewal plan. Our mobile medical unit plan is another good one. Yeah, we've got all kinds of plans, but we're not plan heavy. We're really simple insofar as that we can actually sell these plans to people and they understand them. People will have shovel-ready jobs when they encounter hybrid capitalism. The homestead renewal plan will give you the ability to actually work with your sweat equity if you have no job right now and paint walls. Anybody can paint walls. I couldn't lift weight. No, I'm already really my upper body is almost it's imposing when you see me. It's almost too big. I have to slim down like Arnold. Yeah. Arnold is working on the lower body strength of the upper body. Yeah. Okay. Hi. All right, so mobile medicals across the nation, obviously a great plan. My upfront cost is $1 billion to construct and $1 billion to implement, not $1 trillion. Obama's plan, Obamacare, is $1,000 billion. I have $1 or $2 billion total. No, you're looking at a tight shirt on a very buff body. Yeah, if I got any bigger in the upper torso, I would be actually out of proportion. Thank you. We don't have to shut down the United Nations, and number one, because we don't really need to fund them. They can shut down on their own. We don't need to send them the $24 billion they need right now. We've already given them double what we gave them under Bush. $2 billion is cheap. The initial construction involves about $2 million for each mobile medical unit. You know, we're going to have to do something while we gain a little bit of traction for our buildup, but printing money is not my recipe for saving America. It's Obama's message. He throws money at problems. The Democrats have been throwing money at problems, and that's why almost every state that they are in charge of is running in the red. Oh, David Gruber. Oh, you're talking about that guy. Yeah, he's basically retracted everything he said, and he's being thrown under the bridge by the Democrats. Yeah. That's what the Democrats do. They cut off any tendril that might have any implication that they've done something wrong. I mean, look at Rod Blagojevich, case in point. He ended up serving 14 years in jail. He took the entire brunt of it. They told him you'll get out probably with early parole after 7. David Caruso is not in the show right now. But Rod Blagojevich, they played him. Look at his money man, Christopher Kelly. Christopher Kelly was killed in a hospital. The official story was that Christopher Kelly was going to face 9 years for money embezzlement, etc. And then he killed himself with salicylate poisoning, pain reliever poisoning. When in fact, you look at the bio of Christopher Kelly and you'll see that he actually lived a day after he left the trailer in the hospital. You know how many people die of salicylate poisoning in the hospital a day later? Hardly any. Because once they pump their stomach, they usually live. Something happened to this guy. He knew too much about Barack Obama and his Obama-style thug politics to be able to let him spend 9 years in jail. He'd squeal like a little pig, like a little piglet. But with Rod, they said, look, we'll make it nice and soft and easy for you. You'll get some gray hair, but hey, we'll even slip you some dye so you can dye your hair brown. Don't do speed. Speed kills. Your uncle's happy to see me. Thank you, uncle. Yeah, he'll squeal like a little piglet. Because, many of these people who do get out and start talking like Deborah Palfrey, she made very, very blazingly arrogant almost statements that she knew inside information running a prostitution house in Washington, D.C., that she would implicate people in the 9/11 investigation. Deborah Palfrey. I mean, that poor woman actually went on Alex Jones and said openly, and I'll play her clip for you. Hang on. Yeah, there's so many people who have literally been missing or killed, strange deaths. Here she is. Listen to her say to Alex Jones.
Deal with me.
And you're not planning.
Okay. This clip from the Alex Jones show is where she interviewed Deborah.
Look, I mean, she's already dropped the atomic bomb on him. She's already released the numbers.
Yeah, I have, and not to be concerned. I have no intention of letting anyone buy me off or make any kind of a deal with me.
And you're not planning to commit suicide.
And I'm not planning to commit suicide either.
The fact that you're so visible really protects you going on Larry King and other big shows, but you want to put it on record that you're not planning to commit suicide?
No, I'm not planning to commit suicide. I'm planning to go into court on April 7th if indeed we do have the trial, and I plan on defending myself vigorously, and I plan on exposing the government in ways that, I do not think they want me to expose them.
April 15th.
Enforcement about their investigation to the D.C. matter.
When she went outside, she noticed the three-wheel bicycle had been moved that was normally kept in the shed. Upon entering the shed located on the west side of the residence, Blanche Palfrey discovered her daughter, Deborah, had apparently hung herself using a nylon rope from a metal beam on the ceiling of the shed. She then called 911.
Okay, the way that 9/11 happened with all these people who knew so much, she was the madam at a house of prostitution. She clearly had inside information about people in the government who may have known a lot and talked. So she's conveniently dead. Dead people don't tell tales. And that's a serious problem. When they get rid of people like her, they're called suicidings. Not when they commit suicide, because she clearly didn't want to commit suicide. Not mere coincidence. No, there's too many of these cases. There's countless cases of there's Michael Hastings, the guy who got killed in a car accident. I could go through them right now. In fact, I probably should. They said his engine flew 300 feet away from his car. There's no way a high-speed engine blowout would go 300 feet. It had to be an RPG. Michael Hastings was the guy who did the in-depth article on General McChrystal and was about to release a very well-researched, excellent researched, depth investigation into the Benghazi CIA connection. One day before that happened, he ended up dying at Florence and Melrose in a fiery crash. Is that an Urban Dictionary definition of Uncle Lester, really? Oh, she said she knew something. No, she actually said prior to that interview with Alex Jones that she had information that would implicate people in 9/11. But the list goes on and on. I mean, my goodness. There's... I mean, Mark Madoff, found strung up with a dog leash in his apartment in New York. He had $32 million in the bank. His dad, Bernard Madoff, was in prison. This guy wasn't even going to be indicted, and he could have walked the $32 million. He was hanging from a dog leash with his little dog roaming around with a 2-year-old boy, his baby boy, in the other room. Another suiciding. Oft. Shall we go on? I have many of them. I'd be glad to bring them all. There's so many people that have been taken out. David Kellerman. They say he was one of the nicest guys at Freddie Mac. The chief financial officer just got the job, was going to testify in front of House Senate subcommittee hearings on the financial debacle of 2008. Right before that day, he was found hanging from a dog leash. 4:30 in the morning, his wife found him. They said he was one of the nicest guys anyone had ever met, and he wasn't in a bad mood. This is Kellerman, David Kellerman. Oft. I mean, I can give you many more people who've shown up suicided. Aaron Swartz, another suiciding. One of the most brilliant minds of our generation, helped to create what you guys use every day. Well, it's the truth, okay? It may be depressing, but you need to realize this truth could bite you in the ass yourself. The government would never consider me a threat because I'm not in any way undermining their power structure. Everything's good. Aaron Swartz created RSS technology that very well is powering up the internet right now. I'm threatening the two-party system, not the government. I've never threatened the government my entire life. He's handsome like me, yeah. Very handsome guy. Anyway, Aaron, his fiance said that Aaron was in a great mood, ready to take on the Justice Department in what they said was a 30-year prison sentence he would be receiving for stealing records, they claim, from MIT. MIT, by the way, completely dropped the charges. But the Justice Department said they're going after this guy. And lo and behold, death by suiciding. Oft. He was in a good mood that day, too. They said he was very positive and looking forward to the court case. He'd already portioned $2 million to go to battle the Justice Department on these issues. Oh, did I mention that Aaron Swartz also created the Strongbox? Yeah, you didn't want to know about that. Yeah, he had the technology to give journalists all kinds of security. Yeah, he had the technology to give journalists all kinds of security, and that knowledge disappeared when he died. So now journalists don't have the ability to store information secretly without the NSA looking in. This is an interesting story about Hunter S. Thompson that just came in. His so-called suicide. The Gonzo journalist is not gone from justice, hunting Hunter's killers. The night before his death, Hunter told a friend, they're going to make it look like a suicide. I know how those bastards think. Okay? Wouldn't such a loving husband and famous writer at least write a suicide note? No suicide note was found. He was found at his self-described fortified compound known as Owl Farm in Woody Creek, Colorado, from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. A lot of people think that Kurt Cobain was killed, that he didn't kill himself. Right. Battleborn, SEAL Team 6, right. Look at 31 men who knew too much about Osama bin Laden. It is Truth Tuesday, and we need to talk about the truth. If I told you this was the bad guy, there are people in the country that would believe it. If this was the dangerous terrorist that was going to take over the world, his name is Balak Star, and he's a Trek alien. If people were told this long enough, they believed that Balak Star was probably the demon that was going to attack their country. Yeah, Balak Star, right. But Congress doesn't care. They're too busy actually playing solitaire to care.
At least in Connecticut, which is where that picture was taken.
Yeah, and Connecticut state government was playing spider solitaire that day. So there's not a lot of people that really care, but I care. I care about Nancy Schaefer. Nancy was investigating the CPS organization. The truth is that Nancy Schaefer was about to reveal a 2-hour movie which could have very well opened the lid on a child trafficking, a human trafficking ring of child pedophiles in the CPS network. Right. Thank you, Trollzar. She hands all of her information over to this one video filmmaker, and he hasn't done anything with it. I did a video on this on my website, youtube.com/DavidJohnSponheim, in which I basically pulled all this information together onto one 20-minute video. But Nancy Schaefer murder-suicide with her husband. She was shot in the back. He was shot in the stomach. I don't know who goes after somebody that way in a murder-suicide. I mean, who would shoot themselves in the stomach? The police said that they were in financial distress and needed to kill themselves. Even they were God-fearing Christians who would never kill themselves. It was a sin. Balakor knows that full well. He's the terrible demon.
Speaking of mysterious deaths, Adele has a link for you.
Thank you, Adele. Okay. So there's a lot of mysterious deaths going on. That was the same one I played. Yeah, that was the link I played with Deborah Palfrey. Adele, thank you.
Hi, Adele.
So Sarah's going to talk to you about things that are not so outlandish. So I'm kind of stepping off the rack here. We could go into detail on the Osama bin Laden attempt. They claim he died May 1st, 2011. I don't buy it. I believe our government is going to have a day of reckoning someday in the future, and I will be leading the voice of the people to get these people to admit that they lied, cheated, and covered everything up. I believe that day will come because they don't have anywhere else to go. They've been covering up the details of their lies, and now it's so thick with lies that they're actually inching their way toward World War III. So if anybody needs a reckoning, a day of reckoning is our government and a brand new political face with a third-party president. Ought to be back.
Yes, that's what they need.
That's what they need.
Oh no. Reckoning. Will it ever happen? I hope so. Only if we can get behind and support David for president. I love you too, I think. In my dreams. Yeah, I know, Magnus Opus. It's very disheartening, I guess. Yes, the whole Libor scandal was closely tied in with precious metals price fixing. Hello, name your price. I'm priceless. Yeah, no problem, DJ Bad Boy. Yes. I tend to think so, trolls are. That they're manipulated a bit. Yay! Name your price. You have found a girlfriend that looks like me. Good. She's probably just as nice as me. Maybe even nicer. Probably nicer since you already got engaged. Wow. Oh, drawing us a bath. Wow. Okay. Enjoy that. The warm water and all that. Oh, why the angels chose to bless me with such incredible beauty and presence. Because I'm trying to be an angel, but sometimes I don't have the patience that I need. So I'm still on earth trying to gain that patience that I need in order to be a full-time angel. Not sure, because it would be, I can be an angel at one place and one time. The virtual world's kind of neat because it's as close to being in multiple places at once. And, but, you know, when I'm an angel, then I'll have to take care of a lot of people all at once, which is very difficult to do. I'm so thankful that I have an angel to take care of me and all the other people that my angel takes care of. Yeah, oh, that's cute. The angel's like, do I really want to be an angel? The virtual world is more than both places angels go. No, I said, oh, is more than both places angles go? There's all kinds of angles on the virtual world. 90-degree angles, acute angles, obtuse angles. I'm just kidding. I love math. But it, you know, it's like I'm talking to you. It's almost like I'm right in front of you, and I'm still right here as well. I did not read. You mistyped. I can type angels and angles. Angels. Definition. Spiritual entities. Angles. Definition. Bad boy. Angles definition is like 360 make a circle. One letter. Oh my gosh. It's true though. You got to get that spelling correct. You know, especially if you want to be understood. But yes, even though we all make typos, it goes a long way, and that's how miscommunication happens. Thank you. You can try to call in, but I won't answer the phone. If you only knew, angels are the sweetest you will ever meet. One day you may get this chance. Maybe I won't be actually in my physical form when I do get the chance, but actually I already have angels visiting me. Yes, what? DJ Bad Boy E. 707 is in the Mendocino County and Humboldt County area, but I happen to get a 707 number because it's a Google number. Will I host meet and greets when I'm president? I'm only going to be president after David serves his 2 terms. And if the people elect me. What kind of confirmation for what? Oh, thank you. You donated to us. Thank you so much. Yes, I've had parent-teacher conferences in the past. Thank you, DJ Bad Boy E. I don't know. You're smiling because I'm smiling, maybe. All right, if you want me to check my PayPal, I will. Let me hit refresh here. Oh, wait. What am I doing? I hate that. Oh, I'm going to close all these tabs. It was in my background. I'm going to take this off. Screen region. There we go. Anyway. Yes, maybe someday in the future, Dan, you'll get the opportunity, but right now I don't plan on running for anything until after David serves his 2 terms. I'll be his VP if he so chooses, unless he finds somebody better than me to do that, which he might. You know, then I'll just help the American people in any way that I can. Yes, this would make a great setting for a commercial. Just get rid of this chair. There we go. The hills are alive with the sound of music. Hi, Ronnie. Not yet. Let me check my PayPal again. Oh, come on, UK nationalists. Lighten up. It's all good. Makes you want to do an Irish dance, eh? Ah, the Irish dance. No, I have to go open up my email because I closed out of my email when I saw it was in the background. So let me open it up again, or open up my PayPal. So how are you guys all doing? Are you getting ready? Yes, I got it. Thank you so much. Cool. I really appreciate that, DJ Bad Boy E. Could I help you by accepting a dinner invitation? I thought we're having a virtual dinner. Why don't you go get your dinner right now, and I'll sit here and talk to you while you're eating dinner, and that's as close to dinner we'll have. I know I should set up a Bitcoin wallet for donations. You gonna walk me through it, Trollzar? Rally Toad, weren't you over at Blog TV? Okay, just a sec. Am I independently wealthy? No. Do I know how to handle my money? Yes. I think David's talking to someone. Okay, download the wallet, the standard client. I should do this when I'm not streaming, correct? I'm writing down the notes, just a sec. No. Wait. Ah! I hate that. Come on. There we go. Okay, let me get this. Set up a Bitcoin wallet. Wait, start again. Bitcoin.org has all the details. I should just go there. And they can walk me through step by step. Okay, I'll just do that. Get the standard clients. Get the standard client. I will ask David if he remembers you as soon as he comes back in, Rally Toad. How have you been? Wasn't it Blog TV days that I last saw you? Because I don't really remember if you made the transition with us here. I mean, obviously you made the transition, but... Oh, no? Where do I remember you? It wasn't just on Vaughn Live, was it? I know. He's an awesome muscle-bound person. When does the show start tonight? Right now, because you're here, Don. We were waiting for you to start the show, and finally you arrived. Thank you.
Don's the man. I'll be right there.
Just here, doll. Awesome. Oh, okay, Rally Toad. In some countries, yeah. I'll have to wait till he comes back, Rally Toad. I got a donation by DJ Bad Boy E, David. Here, Dave, you need a more expensive suit if you're running for office. Well, maybe there in the UK, but here, David can wear whatever he wants. You heard the government was auctioning some Bitcoins. Is that why you're discussing this? I was discussing it because someone said I should set up a wallet so I could take Bitcoins and donations. Yes, it is legal to take Bitcoins or other things that would be valuable in currency. Like, you could donate a bunch of signs, or you could donate a bunch of time, or say you wanted to donate a bunch of safety pins, whatever. Anyway, you could donate that and it would be called an in-kind contribution. So I would have to find out the value of it and say that you really donated that much in value, even though it's not cashola. I will. I know. I thank you, 2567. You could surely meet a woman of my caliber if you really wanted to. Thank you. with my hand off. So what? You couldn't see it? What? I don't understand what you're saying, 222. Good night, Mad Dog. All the nice people. Mad Dog, DTler, everybody. Yes. David I don't think David likes Bitcoin. I do. You want to see? Hands up.
At this point, I embrace multiple levels of currency. I think we can mix it up.
Exactly. The question about Bitcoins, even though it's not backed by anything, the US dollar isn't backed by anything either. Oh.
Yeah, if you say that any louder, people believe it, and then you won't be able to buy a TV
True.
set for $500 at
I
Best
mean, the
Buy,
only reason that we trade
you
in
for
US
donating.
dollars is because we believe in them, and the government accepts it in payment for taxes.
All right. What is this? Have you read about Bitcoin accounts being seized? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people were very upset about that. Okay.
Well, and the thing is, Bitcoin, the only thing I'm not so sure about Bitcoin is like there is a limit to it, just like gold.
Right.
So, what happens when it reaches its limit? I understand that it's somewhat secure until it reaches the limit. But once it reaches the limit, then what's the investment for people to run all those secure servers to keep it secure?
I'm wondering, somebody said I would invade Cuba. Cuba doesn't have anything to offer other than public doctors, and cigars. We really don't need anything from Cuba. But there are some islands off Bermuda that would be very, very beneficial if we invaded.
Rally Toad wants to remember. Do you remember Rally Toad?
I do. We always remember him. I had your name etched in my brain, like a laser etching.
We look very similar, which is why we were attracted to each other. Because we looked at each other as like,
were we
whoa,
really?
You look good. And you said, whoa, you look good. You look like me.
I think people really
You
feel
look
that
like
way.
me.
You look like you're the ideal woman I saw in my mind when I was younger. I actually had a vision of an ideal woman, and you are that woman. So.
David does wear jeans sometimes.
Today I went blue jeans. Yeah, it was very calm and casual.
This is the line for them to register their weapons in Connecticut?
Yeah, that's the line that they got over 50,000 people to stand in line to register their weapons in Connecticut. They're trying to implement gun control in America through the leftist groups in the Democratic Party. And I don't support gun control in that way at all. In fact, I believe that we just need a verification process. Not a registration process, but a verification, making sure that somebody doesn't have any kind of a gun-related felony. So a person with a DUI could still get a gun. But if you were involved in a capital crime, you would not be able to get a gun. Same with a psycho who's threatened to kill himself or others. You wouldn't be able to get a gun. Well, deeming people mentally unstable is way different than somebody with an authentic history of mental illness involving violence toward others. You can't say a person with PTSD can't have a gun. I would never keep guns away from veterans who are suffering from PTSD. Yeah, no, it is. I've been working out every day. I mean, I'm bursting out of my shirt here. Muscles are blowing out of my shirt. I mean, I literally, I couldn't work out any harder than I am right now. So I've seen those FEMA camp concrete casts, yes, and in 12 my buddy and I opened one. We have a video on what it's in. Yo, great. I'll be shocked. We'll send you the first broadcast video. Great, 6614. Wow, so you actually went to one and opened inside? What did you find? Yeah, I did calculate my body mass index, and I'm a little bit overweight. No, Amber sleeps all the time now. You don't believe registering your name to a registry anyway? I don't either.
I don't know.
It's not their interest. Their rights. You have the right to bear arms. I bear arms and legs. Yeah, but you'll gain 12 pounds in 3 weeks after the intermittent fasting of dropping 1 pound every 2 days. No, that's a mistake. You have to build a lifestyle of weight control. You can't just go on binge diets. They've proven that people that go on binge diets actually bounce back with higher BMIs. Why do we have to talk about BMIs? It seems like a nasty word, you know. I don't talk about my BMs, so why would I talk about my BMIs? All right? I don't have to register my guns because my guns are BB guns. All right, let's get serious here because gun control has been put on the table by the Democrats, and I don't think we need to go down that dark road, yet the Democrats don't realize that. So this is an area we can exploit. The support for gun rights is strong on our website. My website, davidsponheim.com, has it. And we have 2 truths out right now, for some reason. And no face. So would you like to join the lines? This looks very similar to the lines in Nazi Germany. Remember that? Not too far off.
David should play for Rally Toad that video of, what's his name? Jack LaLanne about getting healthy.
Right.
Yeah, I think that Rally Toad will be going for that one.
We'll turn the whole show into Rally Toad's Minute, okay?
No, I mean Jack LaLanne.
Yeah, well, Jack LaLanne has always been a guy I turned into watching, and he's great.
Or you could show the Haji jumping jacks.
Yeah, here's an exercise video out of Afghanistan.
Here's for you. This is for you.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You missed a step.
What I do is I say to younger kids, put all your body out, then ball your body in. Out and out and.
I'm not going to be in a gun control line because I don't have any weapons of mass destruction.
That was when we were embedding our troops with Afghanistan, Shrek. Yeah.
Well, we're still embedding our troops with Afghanistan, Sarah. In case it's not a historical thing. We still have 30,000 troops in Afghanistan right now.
We cook a lot. David cooks a lot.
Recently, I cook
salads,
a lot.
Green salads.
Recently, the number of sales of opium have increased 17% this past year because of all the support we're giving those people in Afghanistan. Isn't that wonderful? So this is what grows in Afghanistan, the beautiful poppy. And our government's been tasked to protect all the warlords that produce heroin so that heroin can be cheaper in America for all the young people that want to overdose on it. Yeah, and the government actually funnels a lot of money into the CIA through this methodology. Yeah, heroin production. Let's take a look at the numbers. Right. Wrong location. Here we go. Heroin production. Here it is. This is the kind of heroin production we're looking at across the spectrum, all the way to 2013. Look at how it boosted.
1994.
And from 2013 to 2014, it went up 17% more than it is right there.
Whoa.
So the green line is even higher right there. So we want to thank Barack Obama for his effort to create cheap heroin for young people to get overdosed on. And I want to thank all the Democrats for not asking any questions about this over the past 6 years and living under the illusion that Obama is protecting freedom around the world when he's committed terrorist acts himself. Funding terrorists in Libya to overturn Muammar Gaddafi. Allowing JSOC, Joint Special Operations Command, to go in and fire on innocent people in Yemen to test their weapons. Shall the list go on, or are the Democrats here and they want to defend themselves? Because I don't think you can answer to any of these questions. The death of innocent people, even Americans, and their son.
I don't drink
Al-Waki.
beer.
You don't drink beer, no.
Or any alcohol.
I don't drink beer at all, except on very rare occasions. I had a malt liquor on Thanksgiving. I did have a malt liquor on. I picked it up on the roadside when I was picking up all my signs that were ripped down by the Democrats. I found 3 16-ounce malt liquors parked next to one of my signs. Yeah. Wow, you believed your phone was bugged when you took the pictures of the FEMA camp? When we left, there was a 4x4 truck that followed you? No kidding.
Oh, we got a donation from DJ
awesome.
Bad Boy E.
Thank you, DJ Bad Boy. Thank you, so nice. We didn't go home. We stayed at a hotel. Kind of scared, but we have great video. Wow, thank you so much.
Upload it.
Wow, that's great, man. I can't wait till you upload it to YouTube.
Yes, my favorite Vaughn emoticon. Because my name is Sarah Hart.
I'm kind of a private person. I'm very public, but I'm also private. You send me 20, I send you 11 signs. Really? No, you can't beat that. There's no way. You wouldn't have the wooden stakes for that price. So I've been cutting my video, my new Blackface 2 video. I've been cutting my Barack Obama's dance video and my new Blackface 2 video, and it's been fun. I really enjoy the video. I think you guys will really like it. It's really hilarious. We do our national tour every year.
Maybe this summer.
Maybe this summer. We might go down to your neighborhood. You never know.
Oh, that's a cute Christmas one, Magnus Opus.
That's kind of cute, yeah.
Oh, yes. And that one's cool. That's like my nativity for David.
Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. You know, I'm going to be releasing it on Christmas Eve. It's my gift to you. It'll be Santa Claus is coming to town. He's delivering a blackface video to everyone who wants to impersonate Barack Obama. Yeah, it's a parody video that I chose to do. I didn't ask for permission, I just did it.
Wow.
You think about me all the time? Wow.
Wow.
Come to Georgia. Yeah, well, we never got as far down as Atlanta last time we went out. In our first run across the country, we've been across country a couple times visiting people. In our first run, we actually got a call from a weird person in Atlanta, Georgia, who, I remember her name. It was something or verklempt or something. No, I don't remember her name. Forget it. But she called us on the phone and said, "Come on by."
Babes.
Yeah, come on by. Something about fetch. Remember her?
Oh,
Fetch.
I like pie because it's fetch.
I like pie because it's fetch. That was her name, her username. And we got a call from her, and we had suspicions that maybe she might be Russian. And she had told us in the chat room that she was a Russian immigrant and a woman who had lots of contacts with Russians over in the States. And this is right when the FBI did a sting operation on Russian spies in the U.S., right? So she's calling us up on the phone saying, "You got to come to Atlanta." But the weird thing about it is her voice sounded like a guy. So here I am talking to this person, and I'm saying, "Hi, Ann, is that you?" "Yes, this is Ann." Okay.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was.
It was that weird. And Sarah heard the other end of it. I said, "So what's going on?" "Well, I know my voice sounds a little weird, David, but I've got laryngitis right now." "Okay, Ann, and you want to hang out?" "Yes, I'm very interested in your party." Okay, Ann. And I tried to get it out that maybe she was a transgender or something, or, she wouldn't release that information. She claimed to be very religious, Orthodox Russian immigrant who talked like this. It's the weirdest thing I've ever... We couldn't make it to Atlanta because of that.
What?
Yes, that is a bannable offense, just so you know. Anyone who makes derogatory or degrading statements to us will be eliminated from the room. Your tenure in our room is shortened by that use of, Well, yeah, she could have been anybody. We don't know.
Who knows?
We don't know. We didn't want to meet her because her voice did not sound like a woman. And what's even weirder is she sent pictures of this beautiful Russian model. And I finally found the Russian model. It was gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous, in a list of photographs that you can buy online. So apparently this Russian spy was trolling our room, buying a fake identification, pretending to be a woman, and wanted to hook up. Tonight's a more casual night. I was out and about today in this outfit, and I just decided to wear, a regular blue shirt and kind of hang out. We don't always have the uptight David look. Tomorrow's hump day. Hump day eve, yeah. It's cornflower blue. We're sitting in front of a beautiful view out of our front of our house, where we see the distant mountains in the back. No, I don't. I've got very large pecs. Because my pecs are so large, and because I have such large girth in my upper torso, I appear to have A cups. Yeah.
Yes, David tells me that.
No, it's Lake whatever you wanted to make it, Lake. It's Lake Toxicity. Behind me is Lake Toxicity. Overlooking the radiation.
I have no idea where this picture was taken.
Yeah, we don't know where it is. It just looks like the front of my house, where I can see Russia. Well, my shirt is stretching out. I can't even get into a 46 shirt, so you can see how difficult it is. No, David Nation, we're not going to do what you say. No, I can't do one push-up. I can do 1,000.
You need to rest, 737, and drink liquids.
I just watched your work on it. It's rather shallow and pedantic. You talking about the one I made in 2008? Ban this piece of crap. Yeah, that's the first version. The next version is a lot more interesting. Lou Ferrigno, what a amazing character. Bill Bixby was more of an amazing character than Lou Ferrigno. One of my favorite actors was Bill Bixby. Courtship of Eddie's Father, My Favorite Martian. Died of prostate cancer. No, you're not getting me healthy at all. I really don't want to hear about a guy who did that. Yeah. No, I don't hear a lot about people that set their girlfriends on fire. Bless you. Bless you. I don't believe that I'm anything like Steve McQueen. Bless you. I look more like a different person. Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a couple lookalikes. I'm doppelgangers out there. If I pull up the names of the people, I can bring them to the forefront.
You have some doppelgangers?
Yeah, there's a couple people that are, similar to the way I look. There's this baseball player that looks a lot like me.
I guess so.
Oh, you don't think he does?
Oh,
whoops.
Maybe.
That was tomorrow night's show. The emerging crisis in Europe.
Can you close out of that?
Okay, and this.
Yeah.
All right, let's see if this works.
Yeah, I guess if you had a mullet, you would look like him.
Oh yeah, if I did. He has kind of a flared nostril look, I'm not exactly like that.
Not exactly, but yeah.
Yeah, he's a Rangers player. It'd be fun. She sneezed forward into the... Here, I can talk. I don't even need to talk. I can just, put this on my head and talk for you.
So it's like you just talking. It's like a little animation of you moving your mouth. And
Yeah.
That's not.
Let's snot and say we did. Okay, anything else? Looking for something good here.
Looking for things I want to delete.
Yeah, you want to delete all these pictures.
Pretty much.
That's just unfortunate.
Not all of them. Only 10% or 30 for 50%.
I love my library of pictures, and she wants to delete them all. Do you think Robin Williams is actually Bono? I mean, when you think about it,
No.
are they doppelgangers? Or were they doppelgangers?
Maybe. Sure.
You think Robin Williams is alive?
No.
Okay, but Bono is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're trying to get to the truth here. Do you think this was photoshopped? Photoshopped, yes or no? I'm going to say yes. That was photoshopped.
You can see the cut.
Okay. I know. There's no conspiracies here. Not on Truth Tuesday. Okay, do you think this is the same woman? This is Bioshock Elizabeth. Which is real and which is not, you know?
Is one actually real?
Yeah. Believe it or not, one's a real woman.
The one closest to me is real then.
I agree. Bioshock Elizabeth. Okay, anything else we can check? Shrek says the one on the right. Yeah, I agree. Here's a rare picture of Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan at the Bohemian Grove.
Wow, nice.
Isn't that fun?
Beautiful tree in the background.
Yeah, it's the Redwoods. Don't ever get tricked into going to the Redwoods in July. They'll be tricking you to go to there. You like Reagan?
Well, I don't blame you for liking Reagan. A lot of people are very, very happy.
Here's a good one. Check this out. Remember the Duck Dynasty guy that gets all this coverage? Obama lies to the American people about healthcare, Benghazi, the IRS, NSA, and the Fast and Furious. But this guy gave a personal opinion about a personal belief that affects no one. It's safe to say the wrong person has been fired. That was right around when the guy was fired. Then he was rehired again. Okay. Anything else? Truth. Oh yeah, here's a guy who looked like me. David Soul.
Yeah, he looks like you.
Yeah. Starsky and Hutch guy. I think he was Hutch. Let's see if we can do that.
What, Doomzilla? Interesting poetry. Stars are...
All right, anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No. I think you took all my talk out by playing all those pictures.
Yeah, we really don't need to talk about Barack Obama tonight. I don't have a man crush on him, don't worry. You want the anecdote about Bart Simpson? Yeah, well, I met a guy one time who brought me a picture of what looked like Bart Simpson, way before Bart Simpson ever arrived on the scene. And he said, yeah, I just went over to this guy over at Santa Monica Outlook and presented to him at the art department, and they weren't interested in doing a cartoon. I said, oh, really? Well, who was working at the Santa Monica Outlook? Well, this guy named Matt Gruning was the art director. And then right after this friend of mine showed this picture of looked like Bart Simpson to me, he said he was rejected by the director at the Santa Monica Outlook art department. This cartoon called Life in Hell started, which launched Matt Groening's career. That's the story. That's how it went down in front of me.
I'm lifting my legs, Raleigh Toad. This is the presidential fitness.
I look like Howdy Doody. Wow.
So everybody stand up. Stand up. Come on, you can do it. You don't have to sit in front of your computer. You can just exercise with Sarah.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty easy. You just start walking, lift your legs, lift them. It's
Lift
all
'em.
right.
All right.
Lift them. It's
That's-
good. Then you can, cross your arms, elbows to knees. There you go.
We did find
That's
a
good.
doppelganger out there.
It's awesome.
Note that this is my first video singing. So I usually sing in the choir, so
There you go. You can just turn your body, there you go. It's pretty good. You can do some squats. Just go down like
Why would
that.
I want to tell her to sit down? I should do the same thing. I mean, ho, hey, ho, ho, ho.
I know we could do some squats together.
Do some squats together.
Exactly.
It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time.
Like get the whole weight set going. Make exercise look easy.
What's Brock
better already? I know, it's awesome.
Why?
Stretch your
Can I talk about politics, please? Why is Barack Obama running?
Why do we talk about Barack Obama? That's not politics.
Well, he's appointing yet another African American to be Attorney General. Don't you think that's a little racist to you? No, Austin Carl was in last night. I know. I'm so buff. I'm about to pop my buttons. I mean, seriously. If I would pull my shirt out, you'd see the ripples of sculpted 6-packs. I've got 8-packs. I don't want to show anybody this.
They said it's a great idea. Workout Wednesday.
Okay, Workout Wednesday. Okay,
that's tomorrow night.
Oh, sorry. Well, that's why I was getting up to go work out tomorrow night. I didn't want to be in the show right now. You look like this guy. He was on MASH, Tom Noonan. No.
They wanted a presidential fitness episode.
Well, let's be clear. HFCS bags? What are HFCS bags? I don't get it. No, the shirt was big. It's a 46 shirt. I'm like bursting out of it. These guys live under a rock? Who are they? Are they like worms? Dave, for Prime Minister, we can replace David Cameron.
Why are you scared?
Why are you scared, Riley? Sarah's shirt is, was used to belong to my mother, I think, at one time.
You don't want, me to lose David?
How would you lose me? I'd always be here. I'm a hologram. You can't lose somebody who's a hologram. I'm not the Incredible Hulk. I am the Incredible Hulk.
It's like I could put my hand straight through.
Tom Noonan, photographer. Why don't you look him up for me, and then we can just go from there, and you could just send me a link. Why do you want me to do all the work?
It's not that I'm purposely dieting. It's that I'm too busy, so I forget to eat.
Oh, you better, because I'm doing it right now. It's just too much work. Yeah, Sarah, you work very hard, and when you are working, it's
like just earlier, I knew I had to eat some rice because my stomach was growling, which usually it doesn't growl. But obviously I just forgot to eat today.
Right. So you're saying I look like this emaciated cancer victim?
No.
Wow, that's pretty interesting.
How do I find out my BMI, Rally Toad?
No, Sarah's fine. Send the BMI link and we'll give Sarah a workover. Yeah, she doesn't have to talk about her weight, though.
I can stand on one leg and count from 10
It doesn't,
backwards.
no, we don't really need to do that. This is when I leave the room and take an aspirin. Because they say an aspirin's good for you. It helps thin your blood out.
I do have cool shoes on.
Okay, would you say you're 145?
I'm actually 155.
Okay.
Maybe more like 150, but
Let's say 150, and you're 5'11".
I make sure not 55 inches.
Okay, you're right slightly above normal, 20.9.
Oh, I need to work out.
No, you're slightly.
What is it for women?
No, you're at normal weight. You're at normal weight.
Normal.
Normal.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Yes, I'm 5'11". You got a problem with that? No, I'm just kidding. Why don't you go back to the BMI thing and put in 155? See if I'm not normal.
Hang on, I'm just keeping track of the chat. No one's sitting on anyone's lap. You think I'm bursting out of the shirt now? I'd be bursting out of my pants. I am a human phenom. Yes.
I guess you gotta go find me a modeling agent, then Rally Toad, right?
Yeah, we just definitely do that. Calculate your BMI. Okay, here we go. We're going to put her other BMI in. She says 155. 5'11". You're still within the normal range, 21.6. You're good. You're good when I'm not.
Ooh. Ow.
I can't take your
I
link
don't have
because
an Adam's apple. That is called right there. It's a butterfly shape. It's not a little thing that sticks out like that. It's flat. It's a butterfly. It's called a thyroid gland.
Yeah.
Thank you, Magnus Opus.
Okay. David find you on the interwebs while he was mining for bitcoins because he hit the jackpot. Doomzilla, yeah.
That's a good one, Doomzilla.
You know, you want to know about my story of meeting women online? I spent 2 years,
I can touch my toes.
11 hours a day. Yeah.
I can almost go flat like this.
That's not something I want to do.
I know. It's awesome.
I just don't really think it's...
I used to like to do the squats.
Yeah. I think we should just focus on politics tonight, though. You know, as much
Okay,
as
let's
you
talk
wanna...
about politics. I mean, you are just playing all these pictures, which is why if you start playing pictures, then I'm going to start working out.
Okay, if you have any questions about math, feel free. I'll use the calculator. Okay. I've got a...
yes, Shrek, not joking.
Okay, times 111 equals... How about that? You see what I just did?
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
111,111 times 111,111 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Try it at home.
Well,
I'll do it again for
11
you.
times 11, it's 1, 2, 1.
Yeah. There you go. Pretty cool, huh? So you learned some math tonight. You know, we all use math. We all use math a lot. And some of you are math heads. You engage in quadratic equations and exponential equations, logarithmic equations. Not meth, meth. A lot of you are snorting meth. We're all using meth. Okay. So anyone have any other questions about the truth? And I've just showed you a numerical truth that just shocked you when I did it. Math on meth. Now, I got to tell you, don't do that. I've seen a lot of people try to cram for their tests in their upcoming midterms and finals by doing meth. It doesn't work. Yeah, you won't perform better on meth, but you will if you take blueberries and have a couple blueberries before your math exam. Deader. No, please stop being derogatory and focus on politics. And blueberries are really good antioxidants, which help your brain think. Clears the way for powerful thinking. I think the glucose in the blueberries help too. The fructose. And I don't know about, your retention is very, very low on crack. How many times have I talked to crackheads and they always say, man, you have any crack? And I said, you remember you hit me up for crack last week?
So, what's
They
your
forgot.
drug policy?
I support legalization of marijuana. That's the truth. It will help our country in many ways. When Barack Obama said that he didn't want to, legalize because he didn't think it'll help our economy, it will help our economy. And it's proven to help economies like California's economy right now with the legalization of medicinal use in California.
Thankfully, David does not do an Obama impression when we're trying to have a romantic evening.
Yeah, that would really be
Well,
a killer.
sometimes he does, I guess, but...
Well, make no mistake about it. I can get it up.
Evening's over.
I mean, you can imagine that would be a real, dead moment in a relationship. Mr. Anderson, I
Yes,
presume.
David does rub my broad shoulders.
Yeah, do you want a back rub?
It's because I'm wearing shoulder pads, which I don't really need to wear.
Well, I'm wearing knee pads, so we're both in good shape. She wears shoulder pads, I wear knee pads.
Yes, I pretend to be a beautiful woman for David.
I'll play some Barry White. Who loves you, baby? Who loves you?
Okay.
That's the only song I know of Barry White's. Who loves you, baby?
Oh, that's good. Keep it
Really?
to yourself.
Barry White. I don't have man boobs. These are strong, full-on pecs that could easily bust through this shirt, and I can lift my own body weight, and I've done it just getting out of the bathtub.
Oh, great.
What are HFCS bags? I don't get that. Yeah. Western journalism, yeah. Body slams racial hatred Obama, yeah. They're trying to create the argument that we've got racial profiling, but they don't have a simple fix like we do at America's Third Party. We want to actually cut the funding to police departments that have brutal cops on their farce. This fired up Fox News house body slams racial hatred Obama in an unforgettable way. Don't really have time to watch her right now. Too busy talking myself. No, I don't have a high fructose corn syrup diet.
Oh, high fruit.
I try to stay on a low diet, mostly vegetables and fruit and heavy proteins. I will admit I do have a pretty high protein diet. There's no frontal flaps here. Look at man, I really believe that you're making fun of my pectoral muscles, calling them man boobs.
What's your BMI?
It's disgusting.
Relative?
I don't eat a lot of red meat.
David doesn't eat a lot of red meat. It's too expensive.
Well, that's not good. Well, hello, Concordia.
So you were actually a little on the thin side, Rally Toad?
Thanks, Keith, whoever you are. That can't be good for you, eating triple cheeseburgers every day. How are you today?
Hi, Concordia.
So a lot of you believe that Sony is being targeted for creating a black version of Annie, the musical. Sony faced huge charges recently. Hackers have basically taken their accounts and exposed their incredible payouts to people.
Look, that looks pretty cool.
A 3D printer. That's like a modern day 3D dune buggy. That's another good one for our show tomorrow. We should just spend this time to let me do the due diligence of putting this on the screen. Let me move over here.
Okay. I can just say goodnight, I guess.
No, I'm going to be doing a series of uploads. I want to make sure I don't have to do this.
You don't need that one.
Why not?
I just don't see the point.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just do the technology ones right now. And what is this? One night stay at Brisbane G20 cost taxpayers $1.7 million. That's worth looking at for tomorrow night. And the murder of Hunter is another good one. Hunter S. Thompson. And this is good. The Axe Crypt password software. Okay, while you talk to Sarah, I am going to put this on the screen and work on some of my delicious links while Sarah talks to you guys. Okay? Thank you. Politics can be a bummer, especially if no one is political. Politics is the sharing of ideas.
I'll blow you guys a kiss.
Well, we're not about, Okay, new window.
And no, we did not buy a new desktop or install updated software.
I chose not to. I felt it was cost effective just to keep our computer clean. I pulled all the hard drives out and put them back in, and everything's working great.
It's funny, night cloud.
Amber's sleeping in the background.
No, David is not going to go shirtless for a presidential fitness episode. I know that's what you want, Rally Toad, but no, that's not going to happen. That's Sarah's I should be sleeping look. Yes, Amber does tend to sleep more in the winter. It could be that hibernation thing or something.
You know, I talked to her cat psychologist this past week, you know, and they said that she's suffering from acute feline psychosis, AFP. And I didn't really know what to think. She's apparently she has a personality disorder. She can't decide whether she wants kibbles or red meat or prime entree. No, she's fine.
No, Doomzilla, that's hilarious, but no, we don't do that. Yes, Amber is getting older too.
Yeah, older kitties are a little bit more...
You think she isn't feeling good?
No, she's feeling great. That was her yawning just now. You hear that?
I think it was something else.
What? A large rodent in the other room or something?
Well, I wouldn't say rodent.
Okay.
Discussions. I know. I usually let the chat room guide me, but no, I don't think it's an intruder. I do need to get more comfortable, so I'll get more comfortable clothes later after the show.
Well, we're almost done. I mean, Sarah, you've done an amazing job of staying in the show the whole night. I mean, that's, in my opinion, huge. Huge. Okay, the Gonzo journalist, there's theory that he may have died.
Old.
By dramatic. Oh, that was her. She's having a weird dream. You hear that? Check her out. See what's happening. Is that her?
No.
What is that sound? Sounds of silence. Hunter S. Thompson, yeah. He was famous for the saying, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro. An announcer commentator on WWE Monday Night Raw. Are you asking me for the job, Keith? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't really think it's an ideal role. If I can do it from my own home, that'd be great. Checking it out as a man? What do you mean? Amber's overweight. It's true. The NSA wants to hire me? What are you talking about? Yeah. All right. Okay, so the so-called suicide of Gonzo journalist Hunter S. Thompson looks very suspicious, including the fact that he said to a friend the night before his death, they're going to make it look like a suicide. I know how those bastards think. Wow. And they found, the only thing they found is a piece of paper carrying the date February 22nd, 2005, and the single word counselor. Crazy, man. Does anyone want a Woodstock 3? I have a very interesting interview with Michael Jackson's final minutes before he died. I'll play it for you as soon as I get this thing up. Okay, and then one more. Obama's one-night stand or stay at Brisbane G20 cost taxpayers $1.7 million. Wow. What would I do to Michael Jackson? Nothing. Thank you very much, 879. Appreciate it. I wouldn't do anything. Michael Jackson was a, person that many people revered. I don't see him as a problem. What do you mean, what would I do to him? Yeah, he had a 4,096 room entourage. The most expensive suite in all the land. Gosh. Sure. I would shake his hand, yeah. It's kind of a relevant question considering Michael Jackson's dad. Al Sharpton is revered by who? Does anybody know? Okay, almost done here. Quantum enabled security for optical communications. Los Alamos Laboratory has developed quantum-enabled security, a revolutionary new cybersecurity capability using quantum single-photon communications integrated with optical communications to provide a strong innate security foundation at the photonic layer. Wow. Come on, Rally Toad, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to talk about Michael Jackson in a negative way. I mean, nobody even proved he molested children. Elvis and Tupac are living with him in a small bungalow in Guadalajara. And he's running around going, Thriller! And Elvis is going, a hard-headed woman, soft-hearted man. Been the cause of trouble ever since the world began. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I don't have a cold sore. No cold sore here. Just a highly active red camera with red, yeah. Well, you guys are really obsessed with little details, aren't you? Okay, well, good for you. Good for you. Well, I'm just going to copy this and send it on its merry way to my little link library. Security. I hate this about this delicious. It's an intuitive thinking system that makes you slow down whenever you write a word. It comes up with all the words that have S's in them. So literally, when you put an S down for security, it pulls up a whole list. It's crazy. They need to correct it. Okay, almost done. Ah, yes, and the piece de la résistance. Well, let's be clear. Yes, I'm having a lot of. I can turn that feature off. Yes, I'm having a lot of fun editing the Blackface 2 video and the dance video. So it's been kind of an enjoyable thing for me. I'm not into any activities gay, Rally. So I'm not gay. Let's start off by saying I'm not gay. All right? And I believe we've lost the link to the saltwater-driven vehicle from the UK. Someone closed that. It would have to be Sarah. I have to pull that link up now. Damn. Thanks for the donation. Appreciate that. Always good to get a donation, it's so difficult to do what we're doing. The sports car that runs on seawater. From the Daily Mail. Great for short local trips. Yeah, I love the 3D printer idea. I got new teeth with a 3D printer. I did. I'm going to play the Michael Jackson video as soon as I'm done here. You're going to listen to the Michael Jackson's last words to a person he trusted right before he was offed by Dr. Murray. And by the way, it's true that Dr. Murray is released now. He had a 4-year prison sentence, but he was released after just around 2 years. It's true. He's out there bothering Paris Hilton, or Paris Jackson, excuse me. Okay, Daily Mail, car runs on. Saltwater. Amazing. Sway vid. Okay, here we go. You had some propofol the other day for your colonoscopy. Real story. How'd that work out for you? You notice how relaxed you were? You wanted to go to sleep forever and ever. Doctors did say that Michael Jackson would have died from having no REM sleep whatsoever. Well, let's be clear. No. Hate that when that happens. Rally Toad, what's your problem? Wow. I'm glad we've really, been talking to the core unit of people here, because a lot of the trolls don't even know what I'm talking about half the time. Wow. My problem? Oh, you are? Okay. Government officials voting fraudulently, lawmakers breaking the law, Texas legislature. Let me just get this free energy thing in here. Wow, I could barely fit it in. I'm just going to throw it out there and we're done. Okay. Finally, now I can play a little fun stuff. Here is the quintessential story of the final minutes of Michael Jackson talking about who was killing him before it was became obvious that he died. Yeah. This is a government whistleblower who's going to expose the hip-hop conspiracy.
For those of you that can see this video or hear this audio, I just wanted to make you aware of what's going on. I feel if I disseminate this information, I may actually get a night's sleep.
Okay, good.
I'm showing my face, and I will reveal my name for my own protection.
Okay.
So if something were to happen to me, you know it was not an accident. My name is Robert Connors, and I have served with the Department of Defense for over 20 years. Prior to that, I served active duty campaigns in both Iran and Vietnam. I have served my country with honor and distinction. My record speaks for itself. As an ex-DoD operative, it was my duty to protect the Constitution and mitigate foreign and domestic threats in this country.
Yes.
I joined the department to create a safer world for my children and now grandchildren. Unfortunately, the last decade of my career, I have seen and been a part of one of the biggest threats to this great nation and its citizens. In March of 1990, I was brought in as Director of Communications for a project called Operation Sedgwick, formed under President Ronald Wilson Reagan in 1989. This program was the second stage in the project called MK Ultra. Its focus and sole purpose was the control of the African American population and urban youth through music. Yes, you heard me correctly, through music. I have in my possession a series of video and audio recordings detailing the existence of this project. My division was ordered to destroy all documentation and archive footage. I, in good conscience, could not. This is the information that the American public, along with the families involved, were told bold-faced lies about. From the first-degree murder of Lassane Parish Crooks, also known as Tupac Shakur, to the evidence of influence of entities well beyond this federal government, beyond this world, will be revealed in these tapes. To my friends still at the department, please, I repeat, please join me. For the Bible says, whoever knows the right thing to do is, but fails to do it, For him it is sin. I can no longer live in sin. So, I am giving the Department of Defense until Monday, September 23rd, to do the right thing and disclose this information. If they do not, I will release these tapes to the media outlets and into public domain via YouTube. And to show I'm not bluffing, I will release Michael Jackson's final phone call on the eve of his death. Mr. Jackson's phone was being tapped, and he is speaking of a government conspiracy to murder him. I know this video and this channel will probably be deleted, so I urge you, please save, download, and re-upload everything that I release for freedom of information's sake. God bless you. Thank you for listening, and God bless you all.
What's wrong, Michael?
I don't know if I should tell you this, but I don't know who may be listening. There may be a group of people that want to get rid of me. They don't want me here anymore.
I don't understand. What do you mean? Talk to me.
I can't talk about it over the phone. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel in my soul, only God knows, they could shoot me. They could stab me. They could frame me and say I overdosed you on drugs. They can do a lot of things.
Who could do these things?
It's not the government. It's more than the government. But I don't know, Peter. I don't care. They can kill me. I don't even care my life anymore. I just want my children to be okay. My angels. I want them to be safe.
Michael.
I gotta go.
I heard it. You heard it. We all heard it. Michael Jackson's final words. Do you think it was credible? Do you think it was the truth, what he said? How do you feel about what has happened here? He sounded delusional. No audio. You want me to repeat it for you? Okay. Let me go ahead and do that. Dita, who could do these things? Jackson. It's not the government. It's more than the government. But I don't know, Dieter. I don't care. They can take me. I don't even care about my life anymore. I just want my children to be okay. My angels. I want them to be safe. Dita. Michael. I've got to go. Anything else you want to know? Michael Jackson's speaking voice was very low, more like mine. But he had this kind of thing he feigned for people. He'd make himself appear like he was, a little boy or something. No, what do you mean? I'm a Michael Jackson fan. Where do you mean there goes the Michael Jackson fan vote? I was just revealing the end of a call that... How dare you imply that I am not a Michael Jackson fan? Dita, who could do these things? Jackson, it's not the government. I've got to go. Dita, what's wrong, Michael? I don't know. It should tell you this. I don't know. They may be listening. There may be a group of people they don't want me to get... You know the song, They Don't Really Care About Us? That was the beginning of the end for Michael Jackson. Hey, it's me, Awesome Carl. Hey, it's me, I'm Michael Jackson. I can't do Michael Jackson, so... Anyway, the reality... Okay, Jackson, I can't tell you about it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel in my soul, only God knows. They could shoot me, they could stab me, they could frame me, and say I overdosed on drugs. They can do a lot of things. The amazing Shrinking Dave. Hi everybody, it's me, Little Dave. Hey everybody, what's going on? Talking to yourself. I know. So what do you think? You think it was... I really believe that was Michael Jackson's final statement. And I really believe that story. I'm not gay, Nightclub. Billie Jean ain't my lover. David Sponheim ain't my lover. It's hard to say it's fake. Yeah, it is. It's fake? Oh, it's hard to say. It's fake. Okay, two different people writing two different things. You feel it's faked? Okay. For those of you who don't necessarily believe it, I'm going to play it over again for you with a high volume, intense speaker so you can listen in. Here we go. Michael Jackson's final phone call.
What's wrong, Michael? I don't know if I should tell you this, but I don't know who may be listening. There may be a group of people.
I don't know. I should tell you this. I don't know who may be listening. There may be a group of people.
They want to get rid of me.
They want to get rid of me. They don't want me here anymore.
I don't understand it. What do you mean?
What do you mean, talk to me?
Talk to me.
I can't talk about it over the phone. I don't know what's going to happen. I've heard enough. All right, so if you're one of those people that want to get to the truth of things, I've got some truth for you. I've got a whole series of things about John F. Kennedy I'm going to play you that I think are relevant. There's so many questions about his death that even people like John Kerry believes that there was more than one gunman.
As the 50th anniversary of the assassination of John Kennedy approaches...
Pardon? Do you think it was more than a dot of line?
I'm not going to speculate now. I just say to you that's my belief, and I'm not even into...
The highest level U.S. official who has gone on the record to say that...
Crackpot. This is a...
All right, so even John Kerry believes that there's somebody out there. I don't trust any editing at this point. I'm going to play you a video that I was quite shocked to find. A guy named Gary Condit... no, forget it. There's another video. I don't want to play that one. Yeah. I found out that Lee Harvey Oswald, this is the truth, was working with Operation Monarch to assassinate Fidel Castro 4 years before he actually was tasked to be at the bookstore depository. One of the women that can corroborate that story has gone on public talking about it. She was the girlfriend of Lee Harvey Oswald. And she worked with him because she worked in the bioengineering labs designing the weapon that was going to be used against Fidel Castro, who incidentally is still alive. So here she is, and here's the story of a strange romance of two people. That how could the Warren Commission not look at this as an implication that Lee Harvey Oswald was working for the CIA? All right.
Came here in April 1963, 7 months before Kennedy.
Sorry about that. That was painful. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that to you. That was really painful. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. That was not good. I know. I'm sorry. You were on headphones, dude? Oh, man. I should have warned you. Okay, forget that video. This is, yeah. Let's not even talk about John F. Kennedy. It's too depressing, right? Yeah, let's just blow that off. What do you want to watch? I know. I did not mean to put you through that. I want to make you feel good now. I want to give you a sense of purpose for the future. I don't want your eardrums to suffer anymore. And I want to thank all of you watching our YouTube video. Come back, watch any of our shows in archive. Thank you for watching. Thank you.